it's a good idea for a sketch comedian to make a movie because today we're talking about Weapons, directed by Zack Cregger. A couple months ago, we got to talk to him. And so I think, Shandy, I've never done this before. So I think now what we do is we say, and here's that. And then we play that part, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And here's that part. Here's us talking to Zachary Cregger. No, this is how I wanted to start, because we're unprofessional on purpose. Anyways, since we're going to be talking about Weapons, we thought first we'd talk about a different movie. But there's a reason, because the other movie is Barbarian, which is also directed by Zack Cregger. So also, sometimes, I think Zach still likes me, so we were able to get him to talk to us for a little bit. So
I still like you, Timmy.
Oh God,
I still like you, buddy.
that was the only question I had.
Oh, good. All right. Well,
Bye.
short and sweet. I like that too.
Yeah. Good. Well, hey, thanks for. I know you're busy all the time, so thanks for doing this, dude.
I'm so happy to. It's what a treat, and I'm your first guest ever. So
yeah,
what an honor.
Yeah, and then Shandy said next time we should get Sam. I'm like, well, if Sam directs a horror movie, we'll get Sam.
Yeah. Yeah. Although the saga of Sam and his wrist is like a slowly unfolding horror movie.
Dude.
I mean, who didn't know he was going to break something when he started his whole I'm going to learn to kickflip?
Yeah, I've been really busy and haven't really interacted with people that much, but I've seen those pop up, and I'm like, what's he
I was like, it's just a matter of time. It honestly happened a little faster than I was expecting. I mean, I knew it was going to happen fast. I didn't know it was going to happen that fast.
It really did.
So, so at the time of this recording, we're about 6 weeks out from Weapons coming out, right? I think so.
It's August 8th is when it comes out. So yeah, what is it now? Yeah, 6 weeks.
Sure. So compared to the last time you had, so 2022 when you had Barbarian come out, and around this time, are you more nervous, less nervous? How's it? Is there any change in how you feel, anticipation?
I feel a little less nervous because I feel like more confident in the movie. I think Weapons is it's a stronger thing. It's a stronger movie. And also it's like whether it, quote unquote works or not, whether it makes a lot of money or not. It's such a personal movie, and it comes from a place of, it's like a diary entry. It's like a lot of this movie is autobiographical, and it's a lot about some stuff that we all went through, and so it's just, I just did what I wanted to do, and if people like it, great. If they don't, that's okay. I love it, So I feel kind of okay with whatever happens. It's so scary when you release a baby. It's like, you've got this kid and you've raised it since it was a baby, and now it's like its first day at school, and you you got to let it go to school and hope the other kids are nice to it. But I don't know. I love this one, so I think it's okay. I think I'm gonna be all right. Who knows, dude? If it tanks, I'll be devastated. but I don't know.
But maybe you'll be more prepared to.
You know what it's like? It's when Miss March tanked, it was so devastating because I wasn't prepared.
Right.
But also I just made this movie for a completely different reason. So yeah.
Well, and in this day and age, to have a movie that's an original idea that you get to have creative control over quite a bit, right? And write and direct and stuff, even just to have it coming out wide release is amazing.
It's amazing. I know they don't let you do that anymore, and especially for a mid-budget movie. The budget of this movie is not small. So it's Barbarian was $4.5 million. This is a completely different situation. So it's wild.
Movies like this, on this level, Weapons and stuff, the 90s, especially for R-rated movies, was all about it. There's so many what you call mid-level prestige thrillers or whatever you want to call them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, all those Michael Douglas movies. you know,
Those
all
are so great. All of the Michael Douglas movies are
you
great.
know, like, well, how many
So
horny
good.
Michael Douglas thrillers are there? You know, there's at least
There's
3
quite
off the top
a
of my
few.
head. And
But I'd say
Slip-
Fatal Attraction is like one of my favorite movies of all time.
you
I
know-
feel like of the horny 90s movies, that's the very best one.
that's the Glenn Close one, right?
Second place, Basic Instinct, another horny Michael Douglas movie.
Yes.
And I've never
Yeah.
seen either one of those. I should. But
You've never seen Fatal Attraction or
what?
Basic
I
Instinct?
know, man. It's yeah. You know what I
Well,
have seen because of my collecting weirdness is I saw Sliver recently. That's the one that
Sliver
Sharon
is
Stone did later.
miles below those two.
I'm
movies.
sure. I'm sure. You know.
Honestly, go
I-
see Fatal Attraction, Timmy. It's a masterpiece. It's an amazing,
That's what I've heard.
amazing
Who directed
movie.
that one? It's Lynn Adrian.
Fatal
Lynn?
Attraction is wait, I know his name. This is driving me crazy because I talk about him all the fucking time. And
it
he's made
is.
a bunch of horny movies. He made that Ben Affleck Anna de Armas movie recently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Adrian Lynn.
Adrian Lynn. I don't know if it's Line or Lynn. I think it's Line. But
Oh, it might
yeah.
be Line. I don't know. He also made Jacob's Ladder, which I watched once and thought it was all right, but I need to go
Mhm.
back to that as well. That's actually, you know, at the time we're talking to Zach, it's June. And Zach, we're going to be putting this out there in August. But for June, the episodes Shady and I are recording are about movies that one of us didn't like so much the first time. But the other one did. And we're like, oh, this will be interesting. But like everybody ended up liking the stuff again. So like last time we talked about The Black Phone, but I liked it a lot better than I did the first time, you know?
Oh yeah.
I watched it with Margaret too, and watching a movie with my daughter kind of is a different experience. But today, once you're gone, we're going to talk about Get Out. And Shandy texted me last night. She's like, why didn't I like this movie?
Yeah, why didn't you? Get Out is phenomenal.
It is, yeah. And that one I watched with my daughter too, and she loved it. We watched that and Do the Right Thing this week. So she's like,
Masterpiece.
yeah, she's down.
Yeah.
Do the Right Thing. I watched on Blu-ray. It looks fucking incredible, and I know there's a 4K. I'm like, I can't imagine how 4K looks because the Blu-ray, the
Yeah.
colors, amazing.
Yeah, that movie's so good.
It's so good, and I just love how, and we talk about this all the time on our podcast. We like how, you know, it doesn't tell you exactly what's going on or what to think, or you know what I mean. It kind of lets you there's just so much going on with the characters, and there's so many different kinds of racism happening, and you know, it's.
Yeah, there's no like good guys and bad guys. It's just a big mess, and you get to kind of draw your own. Yeah, it's great.
Which
Love
is
it.
what real life is, you know. So
Yeah.
it's like, but you know, and we talk about that all the time, not liking to be spoon fed, and
No.
I guess that brings us to Barbarian because that's what I loved about it, and I'm assuming I can't wait to see Weapons Man because this one I didn't even read the script, so I have no idea, you know.
Oh, right. You didn't read the script. Okay, cool. Good. All right.
Shandy, this is boys' club. Zach and I talk to each other all the time. Do you have anything you want to say?
Wait, I want to know, Shandy, what was your experience the first time you watched Get Out? Where were you? In the theater?
I was at home
Oh, you watched it at home. Okay.
watching it by myself. I think
By
I was
yourself?
I was probably a little bit more drunk than I wanted to be. And that's why I wasn't really
Yeah,
paying
that'll do
attention.
it.
Well, didn't you say you had something about Barbarian you wanted to ask Zach? You watched Barbarian yesterday too, right?
Yeah, I rewatched it. So I'd only seen it once.
Oh, okay.
And I think the first time that I watched it, the beginning of that movie is amazing. Just
Oh,
let you
thank you.
know. The
Like the first
suspense
half, you mean the
building,
first act?
the suspense of it all, and just the little subtleties of certain shots are just so good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
Hey, I was wondering when when did you write Weapons? Was Barbarian already out, or no? You wrote it before that, right?
I wrote Weapons before Barbarian came out.
Okay.
But during the edit, basically, honestly, right after Trevor died, I wrote it.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that, you know, because I found out doing stand up when I have something like that happen with my divorce and with Trevor, where I use the energy on stage, but I'm not telling jokes about it. Although with him, I did.
Yeah,
that
like
one show, but-
like Weapons is not like about
right.
Trevor, but it is very much like written from that. You know, that was the event that got me
Right.
into the mindset of writing that movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I'm sure it's not like about it, but like using the energy from that to do something else is kind of like
Yeah, and I think when you watch it, you'll kind of get it.
really. Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
think
can't
so.
wait.
I don't think most people will, but I feel like you will. and like people that like know me will get it. I think.
Right. It's interesting because even with Barbarian, there's stuff like that where it's like, Zach,
Yeah, probably.
just
yeah.
like weird, like a lot of the weird, gross stuff. I remember some of the like weird, gross stuff you would pitch as a sketch, kind of thing, and just be like, oh yeah, cool,
Yeah.
So,
it's very in line. Yeah.
right, yeah.
On
But
brand.
so weapons. So when you were writing Weapons, Barbarian wasn't a hit yet. Like it wasn't out yet.
I think I started it before it came out, and I think I probably finished it after it did. So I was definitely like, I'd kind of beat the story out, and I was probably like, polishing it when Barbarian came out.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. What was I trying to say about that? I don't even remember now. Yeah. I was gonna say like, so was there pressure? So there wasn't. So did you feel any weird pressure at all writing it?
Well, I mean, the pressure would have been considerable if I'd started writing it after Barbarian came out. But because I was kind of like, I had it in focus, by the time Barbarian came out, I didn't feel like, oh, the whole world is watching. I didn't feel like that. And also the whole world, I get it, wasn't watching, but
but
I think some horror people were excited. But also, like, I wrote it because of, like, the emotional place I was in when I wrote it. I wrote it really from this, like, I just got to get the pain out. And I wasn't writing it from what's my follow-up to Barbarian? You know what I mean? So that was, like, one of the only silver linings of the tragedy of that year was that, like, I was able to just kind of write from a place of creative, excitement and not a place of ambition.
Damn, I'm getting excited to see this now. Shit.
Yeah, have you seen any? Did you watch any of the trailers for it? Andy, Zach told me not to, since I know I'm going to see it.
I watched one.
Yeah,
and I'm very excited. Yeah,
cool.
Especially now hearing him talk about it.
I mean, actually nothing about it. Then you haven't seen the trailer, and I haven't told you anything, so you don't even know the premise.
I know I know there's a missing kids. I know that much. I saw the fake website thing, which I thought was cool, but that's about it.
Okay, well, the trailer doesn't give too much past that, so.
Right, I saw the teaser. I like how the kids run with their arms out, and that's all I know. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And I think it's fucking scary. The way they're running is scary. Even though I made a joke at the time that it reminded me of the way the ninjas run at the beginning of American Ninja 2, the confrontation. But
the confrontation. Is that really what it's called?
It probably is. You know what we do a lot here? I've talked about it Trailer Boys too, but what's funny is there's so many sequels, especially horror sequels, subtitled Bloodlines. Have you noticed that?
Well, I know Final Destination. What else?
Yep. Pet Cemetery, Hellraiser. There's a cabin.
Yeah, Hellraizer, right? Hellraiser Bloodline.
Yeah. And that's also the one where they go to space. So that's two.
What the fuck is a bloodline? Does that mean like the family tree?
I don't know. Because they also, let's see, there's a Wrong Turn, like Wrong Turn 5, Bloodlines. Like
Wrong Turn Bloodlines? Wow.
I used to think of vampires, like
blood.
What show is it? I think it's True Blood, where it's like if you kill, was it True Blood or Vampire Diaries? I forget which one, but it's like if you kill like the main vampire, then everyone that's been turned by them or anyone in their bloodline dies.
Oh, that's pretty fascinating.
She was talking about when Bill Skarsgård's head gets smashed against the wall.
Oh yeah. Well, that's right. That scene I was really trying to rip off the scene in Irreversible. I don't know how familiar you are with that movie, but
Another one I haven't seen.
You haven't seen Irreversible? Jesus.
I know, I'll get to it. It's just anyway.
In my opinion, and I mean this, I said this a 1,000 times on the record, the best piece of movie violence I've ever seen is in Irreversible. In the opening scene, this guy gets his head smashed in with a fire extinguisher in one continuous shot, and you just watch his head just change shape, and it's so good. And so I was trying to rip that off in Barbarian, and I wasn't super stoked with the result, and then I kind of do it again in Weapons, and I think I did a little bit better, and I have another movie that I want to do after when I'm about to go shoot, where I'm really gonna get it that time. It's like, this is my white whale. It's just like, Chasing
so
the head
good.
smash.
Chasing that,
The
that could be,
smoke.
when you're older and want to write like a memoir about your life in film, it can be Zack Cregger chasing the head smash.
Chasing the
You
head
know?
smash. Yeah, that's
I
pretty
think it'd
cool.
be good. Yeah, it's a good title. So I mean, that could be like your thing. A lot of directors had, like, instead of a foot fetish, you have this smashing the head thing.
Yeah, every movie I
So-
make someone have to have their head smashed to pieces.
I like that.
Iteratively.
I
Yeah.
like that. And even if it's a rom-com, you'll figure it out.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, exactly.
Well, that's a question. Do you think you would, work in other genres? I know you're doing Resident, and I assume the idea you just mentioned that you have for a movie after that is probably a horror movie or something, right?
Actually, the one after is a sci-fi movie.
Oh, okay.
It has horror elements, but it's very much like a pure, it's hard sci-fi.
Sure, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Wait.
Yeah,
I think you would do a really good rom-com.
I don't think I would.
I don't think he would either.
He's like, the first half of Barbarian felt kind of like, are these two gonna hook up? Like,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
just the chemistry that was going on between the two. It gave me that feeling for a little bit, and I went,
That's
a
good.
good point.
really good.
That's
Yeah.
a good
Yeah.
point. I agree. So yeah, what if that movie just kept going?
It's funny because I remember that scene where they're where Bill's got the blanket over his head. He's like teaching her how to make the duvet,
Yeah.
clean, and they're kind of laughing and flirting. I remember I went out. One of the exec was over in Video Village, and I was just so excited because I thought it was like going to be really kind of tense and a little creepy. And I went out and I looked at her and I was like, "What do you think? Isn't this great? Aren't they doing such a great job?" And she just goes like, "Making a rom-com, huh?" And I was like, I guess kind of. Yeah, I don't know. It did not hit me in the right way when she said
It
that.
worked
Who said
though,
that?
because it was,
An exec from
Oh, okay.
New Regency.
But yeah, I mean, dude, because so much of that is about, I feel like obviously you want it to be good and you want the whole thing to make sense, but I would feel too if I was making that, like, the more misdirection in that part, why not?
Yeah, and it's
So,
okay.
like,
It's not like a failure of the movie that it feels
Yeah,
like
yeah.
rom-com-y. That's
no,
we
I
want
think it
that.
works.
That's okay.
It's great.
Yeah,
it made me forget. Yeah.
yeah.
You forgot, yeah, and you kind of, it's almost disarming in a way, which is great. But yeah, I mean, like I told you, Zach and I talked about it a few weeks ago. But I showed my daughter this, and like, she was like, she didn't know anything about this. I told her like, Zach's movie's crazy. That's all I ever said.
Did she think it was scary?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She did. Okay.
Yeah. And
Sometimes little kids, they don't have their fear response comes online later in life,
Right.
Which is weird. You think
Right.
like little kids get really, really scared, but I think that from like 9 to like 18, you're kind of a little sociopath, and
Sure.
and things that should be terrifying to adults, you kind of laugh or something like that, and then later it's like you can fall back into being scared because you understand how the world works.
Right, and so you kind of have something to connect to it. That makes sense. But well, there's some good like jump scares, and that always works.
Sure.
And she like that, but also, she also is someone who is easy. She gets grossed out, and so there's some stuff where she's like, I mean, you got some pretty gross shit in
Like
there.
forced
and,
breastfeeding.
yeah. And that I was, like,
they made me cut the rat out. That would have been cool.
Was that in the
Remember? So
script?
I think I told you this. Like, so after she forces Justin to nurse, right? He doesn't latch, and so she snatches a rat off the ground and she bites it and chews it up and then holds his mouth open and baby birds it into his mouth. And we shot it,
oh my god.
Yeah, but then the studio nixed it.
That's. I don't know if I remember that from the script or not, but that's great.
It's in the
amazing.
deleted scenes. If you watch it on iTunes, you can see it.
Oh really? God,
Yeah.
that
and
every once in a while, my fellow collector nerds mention this, and I'm like, well, next time I see him, I'll ask. But is there any movement, any chance ever we'll see it
On the
Disney?
Blu-ray? I mean, every appeal I've made has fallen on deaf ears, and I just don't know what to do.
Yeah, it sucks.
I brought it up a year ago, and they were like, "Yeah, we'll look into it," and then never heard back.
But now, but you're working with a different company for weapons, Warner Brothers, and have you had any conversations with them about disc stuff?
I haven't, but I think that it will. I think Warner Brothers releases Blu-rays It's a Disney thing. Disney just
Right.
has this whole new thing where they just don't want to do Blu-rays. And
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I see this conversation happen all the time in the boutique Blu-ray group and stuff. Like Freaked is finally coming out. Alex Winter's Freaked, and that took a long time because it's owned by Disney or whatever. But Warner Brothers has kind of their own boutique label called Archive, so they are definitely more okay with physical media. You know what I mean?
Wait, what's Alex Winter's Freaked?
So Alex Winter, he had this weird sketch show on MTV. I forget what it was called in the early '90s. But he and his buddy made this movie called Freaked, which is awesome, and it's like. It's about a freak show. It's like a horror comedy thing, but lots of crazy practical effects, like lots of crazy makeup and costume. And it's just it's kind of got a weird anarchic kind of punk rock feel to it. And it's like one of those things. Like I had to find it on YouTube. There's not really a way to watch it, but now it's getting a 4K release. They're restoring it,
and you can't stream it or anything like that.
No, I mean you could probably find it on YouTube still, but maybe once they put on disc, maybe they'll control. But the thing is so it's coming out on an Australian company label, Umbrella. So that's the only way a lot of the Disney-owned stuff even gets out there. So there's some very good labels from Britain and Australia that like every time this kind of conversation comes up with people, collectors like me, someone's like they would do a great Barbarian. So maybe someday someone will. Yeah.
I hope so, man. I would be all for it.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Someone will do it eventually because people love that movie. Your movie.
Thank you. I hope so. Wait, what other movies have you guys done on your show?
So this will be the one you're gonna be in. The one this will be on will be episode 24.
Okay.
So right now. So Get Out's going to be episode 21. So we just did the Black Phone. We've done, when I started this, one thing I hate, I don't really listen to a lot of podcasts, but every time I listen to a movie podcast, there's always, little themes and gimmicks to it. You know what I mean? And, instead of just two people talking about a movie, it's like, oh, we're going to talk about it this way or that way. And I'm like, Sandy and I just want to talk about movies, but we do have a slight theme almost every month. In August, we actually won't. We're going to do Weapons, and then on August 18th, we'll do one of the Texas Chainsaw sequels. But
which one?
I think I'm going to show her McConaughey, Part 4.
Well, I haven't seen them all, so.
Oh, he's in 4?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, right, yeah.
And Renee Zellweger. But 1 and 2 are the only great movies, I think.
I'm realizing I don't think I've seen the McConaughey one actually.
I haven't. So I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, and I don't want to color Shandy's perception before she even sees it. I think there's a lot of dilly-dallying before they get to the goods, but
boy.
2 is awesome. 2 is I love that they're we're not trying to do 1. We're not trying to, it's going to be its own zany, crazy thing. It's really fun.
Yeah, it's Toby Hooper kind of being it's almost like making fun of how horror movies were at that point. He's like, this is what they're supposed to be now, so I'll just do it to 115%. And fucking Bill Moseley, man. I mean,
Bill Moseley. I heard that
incredible.
Beetlejuice is modeled off of Chop Top, or whatever his character's name is. But that Michael Keaton had that in mind.
That would make a lot of sense.
That makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I'll do that voice because Margaret's seen that, so I'll do that voice to freak her out sometime. Hey, yeah, just like that.
Yeah.
I tell her on Earth 2, I'm probably in an alternate reality. I got to play one of those family members at some point in a movie because I would love to be one of that guy, and then the hitchhiker. Those kind of Texas Chainsaw family members. I would love to do that. Hey, you like head cheese? So that kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
Here's a question I wrote down that's stupid. Maybe not stupid. Maybe it's interesting. But Zach, recast Barbarian using only whitest kids.
Love this. Okay.
Has anyone ever asked you this before?
No. All right. Now, can I put Trevor in it or no?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, Trevor's got to be the mother because he's just tall and lanky and crazy, right?
That's perfect. That's good.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Darren has to be Georgina. Right? Tess.
Yeah.
That's Darren. Timmy, you have to be Justin.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Sam has to be Bill Skarsgård. That's funny.
Yeah.
And I think I'll be Frank, the serial
Really?
killer. Yeah.
You'd be.
What do you think? What would you do?
Well,
It's so fun.
I haven't thought about this for myself. Shandy, you wrote down. Can I say what you texted me, or do you remember what you said?
Yeah. You can. I don't remember.
She
all
said
of it.
Darren is Tess. Okay. Zach is Justin Long. Sam is Mommy. Timmy is Dad. Frank, and Trevor would be the Bill Skarsgård character. So that works
That's
too.
fair. That's fair.
Sam as the mother would be.
Sam as the mother is very funny, and that was honestly my first think, but I don't know. I part of me is like I can't help it. Trevor's physicality is just like,
and that's who
good.
played the mother, was a lanky guy, right?
Yeah. And the guy who played him is this wonderful man named Matthew, and he's like the sweetest guy. He does like sketch and improv at UCB. He is a children's musician. He wrote like an album of kids music, and I mean he was a Jim Carrey impersonator for a long time. Like he's the last person you would expect, but he did such a great job.
And that's what works for that stuff.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, you know what? I thought about this question, but I don't even know what I would how I would say it. But also, it'd be funny because like also I was gonna say like, but we had to play everybody. So like someone would have to be Kurt Braunohler, somebody would have to be the homeless guy. But
you got to be Kurt Braunohler.
I could do that. Yeah, sure.
That's definitely a Timmy character.
Yeah, for sure. Trevor could be the homeless guy too.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
like
definitely.
Copy of a copy. There, no way she's getting in here. Oh my god, that'd be great.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh no. Man. The cops would be you and Sam probably.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
So in that movie, you have, would you call it cameos? I mean, you're a guy on a phone. You're the guy in the bar.
I'm a guy on a phone. I'm the guy in the bar. It's funny because my mom saw the movie in the theater and then was like, I didn't see you. Are you in the movie? I'm like, dude, I'm the guy in the bar that he's talking to. She's like, I couldn't tell. My own mom, I have people I haven't talked to in decades reaching out and be like, dude, I heard you on the phone and I saw you in the bar. Like, thanks, dude, whose last name I don't know. Like, it's unbelievable. My own mother is just like, no idea.
What did she think about the movie?
Oh man,
she liked it. She liked it.
Did she? Okay,
I think so. She really likes Weapons. She's seen Weapons like 3
great.
times already. I think. Yeah.
Has she watched movies like that before? Or is she pretty?
No, it's very much not her thing. But I think that like Weapons like got her into horror. Like you gotta understand, my mom is like a super Christian woman in her 70s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird because I think Weapons got her like into horror, and she even was like, I'm going to see Sinners, like, and she never would have gone to see Sinners.
That's great.
Wow,
yeah,
cool.
so that's been fun. And also my aunt like lives with my mom now, and my aunt is really into horror. So I think they get into it. Yeah.
That is really adorable to think about.
I know, I love it. I love it.
2 old ladies hanging out like, let's watch Evil Dead, That'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Peter Martyrs is hardcore, but worth it. Let's try.
I heard people said New French Extremity, and I just think we should deal with it. And there's so much stuff I haven't delved into yet. Like I haven't seen much of the new French stuff now that I think about it either. Like Irreversible would be one of those, I suppose.
That's not new, man. I mean,
I know, but that was the name of the movement, though.
Yeah, I know. Like High Tension and Inside and Irreversible,
all that stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It's just not something. But then you look at like I've watched like 200 some movies this year, and it's mostly getting through my collection of stuff. And there's so much that's like I never fucking heard of this movie,
Yeah.
But I enjoy it. I really like it when, and this happened all the time in the 80s, so many different towns. The local karate club would get like 10 grand, 20 grand and make a movie starring themselves. It happens.
Really? Does that happen a lot?
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Ohio,
the karate club makes a movie?
Yeah, dude. Ohio, Missouri, Florida with Miami Connection, which is a pretty famous one. Yeah, a few, There's this dude, there's actually a few from Ohio, but there's this guy in Ohio that's still doing that. But in his first film that I had called The Treasure of the Ninja, it's clearly just all shot in Ohio. And the sound effects are just his mouth. Like all the punching. It's like, which is reminded me of Trevor, because Trevor used to do that shit. Even when we were like writing a script, remember, he'd always like mouth out the music.
Yeah.
And like sound effects and stuff. So anyways, but yeah, there's always so many movies to get to, and which is great.
Have you seen Bad Ben?
No, I've heard of it. I think you told me about it.
I probably
that's the
did,
one that
yeah.
guy shot in New Jersey by himself.
Yeah, shot
right?
it all by himself. He's like a dude in his 50s who just like made a movie in his house in Pennsylvania, like all alone. And I'm so into it. But I wonder what you'd think.
I want to see it because and I love that stuff. I mean, that's something I've really gotten into now. You know.
Yeah, I mean it's really rough around the edges, and
Yeah.
and the whole third act is just like what have you done? But the first like 45 minutes of it I think are amazing. I love it.
And I've just become, I was never someone who was overly critical about stuff. I just kind of like whatever. Like if I don't like something in something, I kind of like just go past it and like almost forget. But now watching, being more into like all these little weird lost things that get found, I'm super forgiving, you know? So it's like, yeah, whatever.
You know what's so funny is like you'd think that like I would get more forgiving, and in some ways I have, but I feel like with horror I've gotten more pissy. You know, there's like I don't know what it is. I'm just like, why would you do that? Why would you fucking do it like that? That's the worst way you could, execute this scene. I don't know. I get really judgy. I'm kind of insufferable, I think.
Well, you've walked out of stuff before, and I've never walked out of a movie, but you have.
I walk out of movies all the time.
Oh yeah,
I rage quit so much.
Rage quit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I'm
funny.
like,
But
I
then what's
thought that
weird
was
is I'll stream a movie later that I walked out of in the theater. So like I don't know what that's about, but sometimes I enjoy watching a bad movie sometimes more than watching a fine movie. Like I'd rather watch like something that sucks than something that's like pretty good.
Right.
Which I don't understand that.
Our black phone conversation was exactly that. That's how it started. Because I said if I made films, if I was a filmmaker, if I was doing what you were doing, I think the worst reaction you get is someone goes, "It's fine." Like, because if someone loves it, okay, great. Of course you want people to love it. But also if someone's like, "That's the worst fucking thing I've ever seen in my life."
Yeah.
If I create that reaction, okay, great. You know what I mean? Like, it got to you somehow. It's like, what did I watch? Oh, Margaret and I watched the 87 Dolph Lundgren He-Man movie the other day.
I used to love that as a kid.
It's so
like
good.
super fun. You know what I mean? Of course it's ridiculous. Of course it's stupid. But like, it like never stops being like, there's no lull really. And actually there was a clever thing in it, which it is a fish out of water movie because he goes to modern day America or whatever, and He-Man's there. But there's one scene of fish out of water stuff. And so many 80s movies would like make that the whole thing. Like so much of it is just he and his people are just like, okay, well, we gotta go to this place and do stuff that, and I kind of like, well, that was actually a little more sophisticated than some of those movies.
Yeah.
But,
I remember like thinking it was like, a legit movie.
Sure. Yeah. It's so weird when you think about the 80s. How everything, like even low budget stuff, got amazing special effects and practical effects and makeup and costumes.
Yeah, like think about Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
It's incredible.
It's impeccable.
Yeah.
Impeccable.
Shandy's got a killer clown head that you sent me video of to scare Margaret with before. It's crazy. But do you know the weird film thing about the heads from Killer Clowns?
No.
You ever seen Ernest Scared Stupid? The one where he fights. The troll heads are the killer clown heads being reused.
Really?
Yeah. Whoa. And the last time we watched the Ernest movie, I'd seen Killer Clowns a couple times. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah.
That's wild.
Isn't that
weird? Makes sense.
It does. Yeah. It does. But it's crazy. Hey, so you're doing Resident Evil. You're about to go location scout for it at this.
I already scouted, but I'm about to go start. Yeah.
Oh, that's what you're gonna go do. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay, great. So I didn't know that. I thought you were still scouting. So okay. So you're doing Resident Evil. So if this one hits, now what would you said you have a movie you want to do next? But would you do like more Resident Evil movies, for example? Is that something you'd be interested in?
I'd never say never. I mean, maybe, but I mean the sci-fi. I would that would be my next.
Right.
My next
something. Yeah. But is there any other? I hate this word. That's why I wrote it in quotes on my little notes here. But is there any other IP you would ever that you would like? Is there any that you would seek out?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I really would love to just be kind of a self-generating guy. But I think the only IP that if somebody came to me with it. It would be hard to not do. It would be something Mad Max related.
Yeah.
I am just like that. I don't care about any franchises or anything.
Right.
I'm not a Marvel guy. I'm not
Right.
a Star Wars guy. But like
Right.
Mad Max is like I just love that universe so much. But I don't know if I'd want to like even. And by the way, this is like Fantasy Island stuff that we're talking
sure,
about
of
here,
course.
right?
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah,
just
yeah,
they don't need me.
George Miller's still alive.
As long as George Miller lives and breathes, he should be the only one
Yeah.
making those movies. Absolutely. And I think another reason I would be like reluctant to do anything in that world would be because I know how hard it is. Like I know like what it took out of him. It's like those movies took years of his life, and they're like waging a war in the desert, and just the amount of respect that you have to have for that is just like I don't know if I have it in me. I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could go away for 3 years and like age 10 years, you know, for that. So that's what it demands.
Right, and then have to do so long, like wait so long. I mean, he started shooting some of it and then waited like 10 years. You know, it's you read that book.
Also,
about
you
Fury
could
Road.
never make anything nearly as good as Fury Road. So it's like I would sign up to make like at best, the third best thing in the franchise because Road Warrior is also a masterpiece. So it's just like
untouchable.
Forget it, man.
Yeah,
it'd be like your fan love letter movie to it.
Yeah,
it would be its own thing. I would think.
As long as I'm able to write, though, I'd like to write something original. So
and that's great, man. I mean, that's what I would that's what I would want for you. You know what I mean?
Thanks, man.
Someone who's I have no control over you, but.
And that's kind of what I was. The reason I'm doing Resident Evils because I wrote a story that's like a very original story. It has nothing in common with the other movies.
Right.
I love the games. I'm a huge fan, as you know. I play those games all the time.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make something that felt like my experience of playing the games, but that would be a story that could be told in 90 minutes. So. I don't know. It doesn't feel like I'm doing an IP so much, though obviously I am. But it just feels like it's a story that I feel passionate about. So
that's great.
So that I can do. I can hang with that.
That's what you want to hear. And so, did you pitch this, or did they come to you?
I pitched it.
Oh, that's great. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I think like my producing partner Roy, like he was like, "Is there any video game you'd ever be interested in turning into a movie?" And I was like, "Resident Evil. Other than that, nothing." And I said that kind of like, that'll never happen.
Whatever. Yeah.
I'm working on another video game right now that is going to be the coolest thing you've ever heard of in your life, but I'm not allowed to talk about it. But I'm just saying, like, I have something like in the works that if it gets where it needs to be, it's going to be insane.
Awesome. It'd be really funny if it's like Candy Crush 3.
Yeah. Could you imagine?
It's called Fraction Muncher. It's a reboot.
SpongeBob in space.
Oh boy. Hey, so you don't like superhero stuff, which is fine. But if you like, okay, let's say something came up contractually, you had to act in one. Any superhero movie, is there a character you think you would like to play?
If I had to act in a superhero movie, what would it be? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Well, which character would you play? You can play any, but you had to do one. What would you do?
Well, I don't think I would be good as Batman, but I'd want to do something in the Batman world in Gotham City because I love Batman. So,
but acting wise, who would you play? Who do you think you'd like to play or do a good job as? Is it a Batman character?
Yeah, it would have to be. But like, who would I? Maybe the Riddler, I guess. I don't think I would. I'd be a terrible Batman. I couldn't be Alfred. I couldn't be Joker or Two-Face or Penguin. So I'm kind of a dork. So maybe the Riddler. What, Shandy?
I feel like you could be Two-Face. I can see that.
Okay. Two-Face is kind of like a big manly man, but yeah, I'll take Two-Face.
But he's rage, and because you can do the rage thing, and you can be a normal guy kind of thing, and that's kind of part of his. I think he can do it Two-Face.
Okay, I'll take it. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
If it was Batman, I have to be the Penguin, I guess. Because
oh my God, Timmy, please, that would be amazing. Oh my God, dude, you'd be great.
I mean. And Colin Farrell's doing that whole thing, and it's like a different take. But I would, I've been, I try and watch every movie that I have, right? And I've had the full set of the '60s Batman show forever, and I'm like, you know what? I've never watched all of it.
Conan is obsessed with it. Is it good? Have you been watching it?
I love it. Well, I love it. It's great. And again, that's one that looks great on Blu-ray because of the colors.
It's like very funny, right?
Yeah, that's the thing is like, especially when it became cool to have Batman be dark, like in the late 80s, and then with the movies and, Dark Knight movies and stuff, people would be like, oh, the show's cheesy. It's like, do you think they didn't know that, man? Everything is labeled. Everything he uses is labeled. Like he has an emergency turning brake on his car, says the bat turn. You know what I mean? It's like,
That's awesome.
And I even said this the last episode. She and I were talking about something else, but like I consider Cesar Romero's Joker to actually be a good creepy one because he has a painted over mustache.
Yeah,
and that means that guy is someone else out there, just being a dude, and then sometimes he's the fucking Joker, and I like that idea because a lot of Jokers we've seen can only be the Joker, in their life. So. But yeah, it's what it is, and I also tell people I'm like it's the only Batman live action thing with good choreographed fight scenes because it's like cameras back, everybody's fighting, you'd see everything happening. That doesn't happen. Yeah. The Robert Pattinson one had some decent fight scenes, but a lot of them.
Yeah, I was going to say the RPAT one in the beginning when he's fighting those like thugs in the subway station. I thought that was pretty great.
That's a good fight. Yeah, that's a good fight. Yeah. But the worst offender to me is Batman Begins because it's about him becoming a ninja and none of the fights are that good. It's like you can't see shit. It's like, come on, guys. So I've always said that's they ever do that franchise again, although they shouldn't. Like, just let's let go. But I mean, they will. So.
I don't know. I love Batman so much. I hope they make a million, and they probably will. I mean, who are we kidding? They're not going to stop making Batman movies.
And I liked the Robert Pattinson one quite a bit. I thought that was cool. I like the vibe of it.
The vibe is. The vibe of that is like that is great, dude. Greg Fraser is the cinematographer of that movie, and it's like that guy. Holy hell!
Yeah, because it's like good work. They've done Dark Batman forever, but like this has that kind of, I don't know, especially towards the end, it felt like it was really hitting the tone well for what I've always wanted, which is like have more of the detective thing. You don't have like I don't know, it seemed cool.
Yeah, it's like Batman meets Seven. It's so cool.
Yeah, which is cool, and that's kind of what's his name? The Riddler was kind of like the Zodiac killer in that. But and my daughter were watching that last Batman movie, and Andy Serkis plays Alfred. And she's like, who is that guy? I like that guy. He's really cool looking. And she also saw him in one of the Black Panther movies, a Marvel movie or something. And I was like, does she have a crush on this dude? Is this who she's into? Like Butler, like old man types?
Yeah, like thick-necked English men.
Yeah, he's definitely got a sexiness to him for sure. Yeah. So I get that. But anyways, I don't know. There's something else. That was a dumb question, but it's funny. If I learn a martial art, will you write and direct a martial arts movie for me that I star in?
I'm going to be honest with you, Timmy. No, I'm not going to do that.
Okay, well, that's fine because it'll probably never happen. But
I tell you what, when you earn one and you get a black belt, we'll talk. All right?
I'll do. I don't know if I do karate. I want to do like Wing Chun. Like the wavy shit. The crouching tigery.
Yeah.
Stuff. I don't know.
So we'll have two whitest kids that are in the hospital with something.
I know, right? Yeah.
Over here with the elbow. Timmy's got like a broken foot.
Jesus.
It'll definitely be a bad muscle thing because I'll kick something and like it'll just like I didn't know you could pull every muscle in your penis and have it not work anymore. Like
you have muscles in your penis?
Well, yeah, right? Don't you? I don't know. I don't really use mine anymore. So, but
whoa, hey everybody, here we go.
Hey, retired. I'm retired, man. It's fine. Retirement's been good, but I think we're almost done talking to you because then we have to talk for another while. But
okay, cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for having me, and it's such a treat, to be able to come on here and talk about this right around the time that Weapons comes out. So it's really cool, really fun.
It's at this point, the people hear this. I hope it's a big hit. Or it's an interesting failure. That's the second most.
Interesting.
Right?
Well, I think it will be one of those things. I think one of those is going to be fine.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, and now we're out of it. So now we pretend we just came back from it.
Sup?
Hi. And that's all going in there, by the way. Me saying like, now we pretend this. Like that's funny. Right? So,
and I just say, what's up?
What's up? You know what? In the episode, I say, what is Weapons out from releasing? Like 6 weeks from today? You know what? It is 6 weeks from today. right now. God, I'm such a fucking genius. I think it is. Let's see. 1,
Such a fucking
2,
genius.
3, 4, 5. Oh, it's 7 weeks. Okay. Well, whatever. You
Whatever.
can't win them all.
I really didn't think of like what I wanted to say, and then of course it was like 2 weeks later where I went, "Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to ask," but it didn't really have anything to do with the movie, or I just want to know if he still draws, and like if he does, what is he drawing still?
He would love that question. He loves to talk about this stuff, and I actually forgot to talk about that. He loves painting, you know. So
Yeah.
well, we'll talk to him again when he releases Resident Evil Bloodlines. You know what we should do? We should start calling this podcast "Earnful of Popcorn: Bloodlines." Just every fucking episode. Anyways, bad idea. I tell you what's a good idea is letting a sketch comedian make a horror movie, right?
Hell fucking yeah. Holy shit.
Was that a good segue? I think it was a good segue.
Yeah,
Anyways.
but before any of that though, I need to do a PSA. If you're gonna go to the movies, don't get on your fucking phone. Don't look at it. Don't think about looking at it. Don't leave it out. Put it in your pocket. Put it in your purse. Stick it up your fucking ass for all I care.
Good fucking God. How bad was it?
There was this guy sitting in front of me to the right in my peripheral vision. Didn't take it out once, twice, 3 times. Thankfully, whoever he was with kept putting her hand over his phone whenever he'd take it out.
Good.
Like, what are you doing? Like, stop. So I didn't say anything because I went, okay, she's trying to keep him in check. But then I noticed he has one of those, the wristwatch phone deal jigger things. And that kept lighting up. So I don't know if he was watching a game or checking scores or something. He actually answered his phone at one point to say, just text me, bro. Just text me.
Oh my God, are you serious?
I'm serious. But thankfully, when those moments happened, it wasn't ruining what I was trying to pay attention to. If he would have checked it one more time, I was about to say something or tell one of the waitresses, because I was at Nighthawk where you can, you have a menu, you can get food and beer and the waitresses are walking around. I was about to write on a piece of paper, because that's how you order stuff throughout the movie. So you're not like talking out loud. I was about to go, can you tell the dildo in the seat in front of me to get off his phone or kick him and her out? And they were also talking. They were like chit-chatting through the thing, which thankfully wasn't too annoying. But man,
It's crazy to me.
just don't go to a fucking movie. Don't go.
Yeah, don't go. Now, here's the thing. You hadn't been to a movie in a long time, right? You weren't really going to theater much.
And this is why I don't go.
Right. But you okay, well, I brought that up because, okay, so you know what to do, even though you haven't been to a movie in a couple of years or whatever it was. You know what to do in there. Yeah, you shut up, put your phone away, that's it, right?
Movie etiquette. And they even, Nighthawk has this nice thing of where they have this really fun animation that they put on the screen that kind of reminds everybody to shut the hell fucking up and like keep the aisles clear for the waitresses and the waiters and don't be on your fucking phone. People don't give a shit.
Yeah, it just sucks.
When I left, I had this idea. I would love a movie theater where they gave you a key and you had a little locker, like a wall of like tiny little lockers just to put your fucking phone in. And they give you a little key or like a key code and you have to put your fucking phone in there.
Yeah.
Before you go into the movie.
Yeah, good idea. Have you ever been to a press screening for any reason?
No.
Or like an early screening of a film? So me and I think Amy is probably the one that got us in, but Amy and Trevor and I went to a screening of Spider-Man 3 before it came out. I think it was not even color corrected, but I think it was some sort of press screening for the third Tobey Maguire one. So it was a big deal, right? So you don't want people spoiling stuff. So they made you put your phones in this thing. And you were saying that, and I was thinking like, you know what? They should just make everybody do that for every movie.
Yeah.
Okay, give me your phone. You don't need it for 2 hours, fuckface,
Yeah. Hey, fuckface. I just spent $20 on a ticket. And I just spent $18 on a bacon grilled cheese and fries. And then I spent another $14 on 2 beers. I want to pay attention to the fucking movie and not get distracted every time you want to fucking check your dumb phone.
And you know who else paid $20? That guy.
Yeah.
So what the fuck?
Moron.
That's what I don't get either. It's
I
like, go to the goddamn bar. Go to the airport lobby. That's what people think a movie theater is, an airport lobby.
Don't go anywhere. You don't deserve to go anywhere because you can't respect anyone else's time or space or money.
Right. Fuck you. Well, you know, seeing a movie in Watertown, South Dakota, and seeing a movie in Brooklyn are probably a little bit different. And the thing is we have a really nice theater. It's only about 8 years old, so it's got very nice reclining seats and good sound and video quality and stuff. And there are benefits to living in a place where people have like 0 or maybe 0.01 a hundredth of a percentage of media literacy. Which means people go to see movies and they'll like know about a new movie to go see, like for weapons, but they're not super used to like how a movie tells a story. So when a scary moment happens, it like freaks them the fuck out. So that's cool, but you know, people just don't fucking get things. They don't know how to be around other people. Like when a lot of people here, when they're on the street and they take a right-hand turn into a 2-lane like highway, you're supposed to, you probably even know this and you don't drive. You turn to the closest lane, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's people here that turn to the furthest away lane. And if you did that in a city, you'd be in an accident. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause there's other cars there. And so that's just stuff like that, where it's like, people just act like, oh, there's no one else around. And they do that in the movies too. And I like to get up close and I like to basically motorboat the movie as best I can, you know? So I just thought of that term and now I'm like, that's great. Anyways, not to pat my own back, but so I always, and I know the theaters, there's 8 theaters in there and I kind of know how each one works. And so I saw this in Theater 5 and I always sit in C8 or C9. And so my daughter and I do that too. And so I told her, I'm like, when I die, if this theater's still here, please have them put a plaque on the seat.
Really?
Well, I don't know if they do that, but I would love that.
They might. That'd be
A memorial movie seat? Yeah, especially me. Like, you know, that some of the kids there know me and they're, you know, when I first started going there, kids were like, some of the kids that worked there were friends. And one of them was like, Timmy, I think it'd be really funny if you put on a dress and walk down the Grand March with me for senior prom. I said, I think that'd be funny. And you think that'd be funny. But the rest of the town would have a big problem with that. So, I didn't do it. But so I was alone in my row. And then, of course, when the movie already started, these 2 people came in and sat on the very end. And they were pretty good. But then, like, right at the end, towards the climax of the movie, where there's a lot going on, but I could still hear them talking. They didn't talk the rest of the time. But now let's talk. And I just said, shh, and they stopped. Like, I'm a really good shusher. Like, it works, you know? But I only have, like, a 0 tolerance policy. The only thing is, like, last week, my daughter and I went to Fantastic Four. We sat in the same seats. And it was on the same screen. And there was a guy, the first time or two, he's making noise. I'm like, okay, I'll wait. If he keeps going, I'll say something. But then you could kind of tell he had, like, special needs of some kind, you know, developmental something going on, you know. So I'm like, okay, those guys got to pass, right? Because they really can't help it. They don't really know what's going on. It's okay. And, like, little kids, but don't bring your little kids in there. Because, well, you know what? I take that back. Even little kids don't talk. Because when my daughter was 2.5, I took her to the Lego movie. And she, you know, I paid for her seat, but she's sitting in my lap because she's little. We're watching a Lego movie. And about halfway through the movie, she just full normal volume goes, hey, when are we going to Grandma's house? And I said, well, we'll go when the movie's over, but when you're in a movie, you're supposed to, you shouldn't talk. And if you do, you have to say it really quiet, okay? She's like, okay.
That's kind of cute, though.
I know, it's adorable. And then she was perfect the rest of the movie.
Oh.
So there's no excuse. She was 2.5. She got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there's, you know, thankfully over here they have brunch movies or they have set movies for kids. Like, this is when you bring your kid.
That's great.
To the kid-friendly movies.
Yeah. We had like a work party thing instead of working on Friday where we went out to the lake and one of our, you know, a lot of people here live at the lake. And so one of the women, she has a floating picnic table that her husband built. It's a circular picnic table. Cool. And they put it on big, empty, white plastic jugs, you know? You always see that in movies being used for flotation. So they have it sitting on that so you can get on it and you sit there. And then there's a little square covered in it. You put your beer cooler in there. And there you go.
Was it pretty stable?
No. I mean, it was stable for being on the water, sure. Like, I was never afraid of falling. Like, when I was sitting down, I was not afraid of falling off.
So,
Yeah,
how many people
fine.
can it fit?
Yeah, we had probably 10 or 12 on there at one point.
Dang.
Mostly people in their 40s and 50s for the most part of it. Well, there's a few people in their 30s as well. But so we had an intern all summer, right? And she's 21. And so she was at this thing, like wearing a very, not very substantial bikini and like standing on the picnic table dancing around. And I was just like, that's it. Now I know I'm not a creep that's like going to date people way younger than them, because I was just like, listen, you got to be careful. Like, that's all I cared about. I don't care about that she's shaking all her goodies in front of us. I'm like, just be careful, sweetheart. Because I was 20. I did the math. I was 23 when she was born. Easily could be her dad, So, like crazy. I told one of my other friends there, I'm like, I really, really wish I could see like the first guy who's like 75 now probably, or like the 80-year-old that used to work with us. Like, I'd love to see them sitting at this table trying to deal with this like 21-year-old like drunk and going like, I love Charlie XTX or whatever that is. So. But you know what? God bless her, because that was like that added energy you need. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Young whippersnappers.
All right. Well, here we are, born to be kings. We're the princes of the universe.
Yeah, and we took a good break because
Jesus
I know I
Christ.
needed it. I don't know if I could have.
Yeah.
Oh, I just hit my funny bone.
Well, there's an injury story that ties into this film, so I'll be getting to that too. But are you okay?
Motherfuck.
Which funny bone did you hit? Your elbow
The
or
right one, my elbow one.
what? Oh, I hate that.
Ow. Okay, I'm all right. Dag nabbit.
Yeah, but then you get older, it just hurts all the time anyway. So do you still have a funny bone when you're older? Or does it just now it's all the bones?
Now it's like what would be the opposite of funny bone?
Sad bone?
This is my sad bone.
I've definitely had a few sad bones.
Decrepit bone.
Decrepit bone. That sounds like a Bone Thug and Harmony that just didn't really make it. I think they were all bones, right? I think that's what they did.
Oh, I just hate that weird like tingling that happens in your hands when you hit it really hard.
It's weird. I would be Sneezy Bone. Do you think they would do that like the Seven Dwarfs? Bone, bone, bone. Everybody. I could do it, yeah. I meet you at the crossroads, you won't be lonely. I'm Sneezy Bone. Achoo! But, so the movie we're talking about today, first of all, welcome to Earn Full of Popcorn.
Welcome.
Shandy had to get that off her chest about movie theaters, which I 100% agree with.
Had to.
You had to.
Damn.
But she got so much off her chest, it looked like she had a mastectomy now. It's crazy. But that was a dumb joke. Anyways, wait, you're not on video, are you? I'm not on video.
No.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if maybe you were and I wasn't this whole time. Like, wait a minute.
That'd be funny if I was just watching myself.
Yeah, just like not
For 2
mentioning that
hours.
you're on video. But yeah, weapons. So here's the deal with this episode, though. It's going to be a little different. We didn't take notes, at least Shandy told me she didn't, but I bet you did anyways.
Nope, I didn't.
You didn't? Good for you.
Nope.
I bet you were like, were you like picking the labels on your beer, like scratching into the armrest or something because you couldn't take notes? Or were you okay?
I actually had a little plush cat toy that I kept squeezing. Because I always tend to have a little bit of a panic attack when I go to the movie theater and it's in one of the big theaters with a ton of people. But yeah, no, I didn't even want to take notes. I'm glad I didn't even bring anything to take notes, because if I would have brought a notepad and a pen, I would have felt prompted to. So, yeah.
You just let it wash over you. So did you have to get up and pee at all?
I did not.
So you watched the whole film without moving?
Yeah, and then I could barely get up.
Because you had to pee so bad?
No, because my fucking ass fell asleep. It's 2 hours. Well, no, more than 2 hours, because I sat there for half an hour before the movie.
Sure. Well, I don't understand it, because last week my daughter and I saw the Fantastic Four movie, which is the exact same time length of runtime as Weapons. I think they're both 2 hours and 6 minutes. And I didn't move for that one. But here at Weapons, I got up twice to go to the bathroom. I got up towards the end of the Josh Brolin chunk, but just the very end of it. I already got up and left when he figures out, when he's doing the maps and showing people.
Okay.
But then I missed a little bit after that, and I came back in right when they were doing Alden Ehrenreich's cop character, when it said Paul and did that. And then I left for a little bit at the end of the Alex chapter, right before shit goes down. It's when they're revealing what happened to the children. And I left when he's like stealing all their little trinkets.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, I always
I got back pretty quick.
The thing when you haven't seen a movie before and you do have to pee, it sucks because I always feel like I get up and pee and I hear everyone in the audience make some sort of noise or gasp or
Like
something.
something crazy happens.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck did I just miss?
Right. Well, here's the deal. The more movies you watch, the better you get at that. Because you understand, you know what? Like, because like I'm like both times I got up, I'm like, I know I'm not missing much. Like the kids stealing the stuff. Okay, I kind of get what they're gonna show here for in the next minute or two, right? And the Brolin thing, I just had to pee so bad, but I was like, I think I've gotten the main message of his chunk of the story here was the map thing, you know?
Okay.
So after that, they didn't really show much, right? It's probably just him driving up to the main girl. Forget the character's name. Anyways.
Okay.
At the gas station, right? Is that probably all they showed? I'm guessing.
Justine? Is that her name?
Justine. So all I probably missed is like he has the map thing and then he sees Justine and drives up to her. Is that probably all I missed? I bet it is.
Yeah. I think so.
Okay, so here's the deal. Well, so we're recording this 2 days after Weapons came out. I don't plan to put it out for a little while because it's new and I don't want people to get spoiled. So if you have not watched the movie yet, you probably want to. I don't know how spoiler we're going to get though, because we're going to, since part of this episode is us talking to Zach anyways, we're kind of just going to go over it loosely. And maybe we'll even do a more full episode some other day. But we're going to just kind of, we both just kind of came out of it last night, so I feel like I'm still digesting it. So I think we're just going to be like, whoa, that was cool for like a little bit and then be done. Is kind of what this episode is going to be, right? That sounds right?
Yeah, I think I'm just going to talk about the things that I really enjoyed, and you'll do the same, and done and done.
But there's also going to be a story, which I guess I'll do right now, because we already talked about getting up to go to the bathroom. So I was telling Shandy about how the day before, so this past Friday, I was at some sort of like lake party with my work friends, and they had a floating picnic table that the lady whose house we're at, her husband made it. It was really cool. And, you know, she also made me this drink in a huge insulated thermos called Gin Bucket. And I hate gin and I hate mixed drinks, but this thing was delicious. And I got, like, fucked up, right?
Oh,
and
geez.
Getting off of it, you got to stand up and it's floating, you know? And there's, like, so I had to be like, oh, God, okay. So I probably scraped my elbow. And I noticed, so then yesterday, Saturday, I'm like, oh, I got to scrape my elbow. That's weird. So then later that day, I'm at Weapons. Also, when I sat down for this movie, I bought Sour Patch Kids, but I never opened them. So then I got home, and Margaret was there. I'm like, hey, I got Sour Patch Kids. I paid 5 times what we could buy the same box for at the dollar store down the street from our house, but whatever. But anyways, but so when I had bought the Sour Patch Kids, I got some napkins. Because, you know, you get the Sour Patch Kids stuff on your fingers, right? So I brought some paper napkins with me. So anyways, didn't end up opening them. But so then I'm in the movie. I get it to pee once during the Josh Brolin thing, come back. I get it to pee again kind of towards the end of the movie. And come back. And then I'm like, something's wet on my shirt. And I'm like, what is that? What is all over my hand? And I'm in the movie. I'm not going to be some asshole turn my phone on for a light. But I kind of held my hand up a little bit. I was like, holy shit. My elbow was like gushing blood out of that sore. Like, it was just bleeding all over the place. I was like, holy fucking shit. I was like, and I realized I'd probably gotten up to go to the bathroom and had blood all over my arm. And people were like, what the hell's that guy doing? So, you know, I had napkins, so I kind of used all those up and it kept going. And I had a shirt, I had a shirt on. Surprise, I was in public. But anyways, I used the shirt to pad up the blood a little bit, still kept going. And then I remembered another situation many, many years before. So when my daughter was like 2 months old, I still lived in Portland, Oregon. This would have been 2011. She used to wear cloth diapers. And the modern way to have a baby wear cloth diapers is you have this little plastic underpants thing. You put the cloth diaper in there, put it on the baby, boom, right? So we're out at coffee, and my daughter's a baby and had wet herself, right? So, okay, got to get a new cloth diaper put in there. Oops, we didn't bring one. So I took her into the bathroom, took off my sock, and put it in there. Fucking worked, right? To pee on my sock. So flash forward and back to yesterday, and I'm bleeding, and I have my slip-on Vans on. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to be a weirdo in the theater for a moment because I know someone's going to notice me doing this. But I took my shoe off, and I took my sock off and put my shoe back on and just used that sock to pad up the rest of the blood. Jeez. And then it finally fucking stopped. It was crazy. So, like, and I didn't tell Zach this because I texted him right afterwards, of course, but, you know, I think he's busy. I didn't really want to take too much time, but I do have to tell him that story eventually because I think he'll love that. But yeah, I was like bleeding for the last half of the movie. It was crazy, right? Have you ever bled in a movie theater?
I don't think so. Oh, well, that's not true. I've probably picked a zit and it just bled for 10 minutes and I just keep trying to. And then I've gone to the bathroom and like seen blood on my chin and like, oh my God.
So when the movie was over, I was the last one there because I watched all the credits because he like thanks people at the end and there's friends of mine in there, you know, and stuff like that. Anyways, I was the only one in there because it's like people probably like, God, does that guy think there's gonna that like Josh Brolin's gonna join the Avengers at the end of this or what? Why is he still there? But anyways, so then I finished and I didn't look at the seat, but then I got home. I'm like, oh fuck, I bet I have blood on that seat. But it's the seat I always sit in. So when I die, my daughter is going to ask them to put a plaque on that seat, but she'll be like, hey, it has his blood on it anyways. So, but maybe if they take those seats out eventually to replace them, I'll have them keep that one and put it in a glass case in the lobby, you know? Like this memorializes a semi-famous movie nerd who is from here and loved the movie theater. So there you go. But yeah, so that's all of our preamble about movie-going experiences. Because this is the first episode. This is the first movie we talked about that is brand new, and that we both saw in the theater. Yeah. So that's why. And Shanthrax to the Manthrax does not. I did that wrong. Sorry. Anyways, Shandy does not do theaters very often, so that was kind of a big deal for her. For me, it's basically like my second home, so it's fine. But yeah. So weapons. You know, if people don't, anybody listening to this probably has seen it already. Not because I said make sure you see it before you listen to this, but because if you're a Whitest Kids fan and a horror movie fan, which very likely if you're listening to this, you are both of those, well, then you definitely already saw Weapons, right?
Yeah, for sure. And it's getting such good reviews. Everybody's talking, saying that it's great. So, and I thought it was fucking fantastic. So if you haven't seen it by the time you listen to this episode, which I have been finding that a lot of people are listening to our podcast. They haven't seen the movie. They end up watching it. Or somebody recently said that they listened to us talk about Get Out and are going to revisit because they've also only seen it once when it came out.
And were they drunk and in a bad mood too?
No, they just said they didn't really remember liking it that much and they should revisit it. So we're helping, Timmy, helping people.
We're helping.
I'm helping you.
So this is a self-help podcast, essentially.
Yeah.
But so Zach obviously is a longtime friend of mine, basically family. We call each other brothers for the most part. And, you know, he was always, I mean, if you watch Whitest Kids, you know that we're gross and violent. And so a lot of the gross and violent stuff was often pitched by Zach. He just loves that kind of thing. So when I read the script for Barbarian a couple years before it came out, I was not surprised by what it was. I love the script, and obviously the surprises in the movie were great in the script, but I was not surprised that Zach wrote that, you know? Because I'm like, oh, this is a gross and dirty. He loves that kind of shit. And so Barbarian was a success. And since then, Zach has, I don't know, what do you say, catapulted into the stratosphere? Is that what they say for stuff like this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he did. I mean, he had a bidding war for weapons, and now he's making a Resident Evil film. So he's fucking out there, baby. And so then he's released this second movie. And it's crazy because it's like majorly hyped. And like Shandy said, people are loving it. And it's getting great reviews all over the place.
It's selling out. It was sold at my timing was sold out, and so were all the times before it. Like
that's
for the
awesome.
past, like couple days. So
that's awesome. Mine was not, but I was like at 3:30 or some weird time. So, and I'm in South Dakota, and people are like, "Oh, I don't see horror movies. I don't like to get scared." It's like the same people. I don't eat sushi because it's raw fish. It's like, yeah, but it's not raw fish made by you, Cindy. It's by someone who fucking knows what they're doing. But anyways, so mine was not sold out, but there's people there, and they reacted, which is always great. My brother, when he saw, I took him to Barbarian the first time, then he went to Barbarian again in town here, back when that came out. And there was a dude in there who right at the end, or towards the end, was like, "Man, I'm out of here. I can't do this. Those titties are crazy." And then he came back, and it was still going on. The monster's still there. And he's like, "Oh, man, no way." And he left again.
That is the best reaction I've ever heard.
I told Zach that. He's like, perfect. That's what you want.
We had people in this theater towards the end. This lady goes, "Oh, good Lord." And she said it loud, and we all started laughing just because the way she said it. And then she said it. Oh, it was when the junkie kid at the end just keeps getting up and going for Brolin's character. She kept going, "Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord."
You put a little accent on it. Does she have a southern accent, or you just did that because it's your voice?
"Oh, good Lord." No, she had a bit of like...
Okay.
Yeah, she had a bit of
the drawl.
Yeah, a little bit. And it was just really funny because it was so quiet. And then it was just her saying it so loud. It was hilarious.
I was going to say, so did she have like a big poofy skirt and a parasol where she's like a southern belle? Like, "Oh, dude, the kale. This is the craziest shit I have seen it in a movie."
She had little lace gloves on.
My darling, bring the carriage around. I can't take another moment of this. Okay. I've always wanted to play a character like that because I feel like I can do that voice really well.
You should.
You should always depend on the kindness of strangers.
Aren't you doing baked beans, though?
Yeah, a bit. I guess Baked Beans' voice was kind of... But Baked Beans was androgynous. So Baked Beans is... what's a can opener? $50. Like, he's kind of more...
Okay, it is a little...
Kind of more like...
Yeah.
They're kind of NB, androgynous, whatever. You know, like they have tits, but probably also a dick. Who knows?
I love your Baked Beans voice. It's so good. Where did you come up with that?
I think it was Trevor's idea. And I just did it.
And I just did it.
And I just did it.
For the money.
Do it.
And then one other guy goes, "Just sit down, bro."
And you know, we just went off on movie talking and stuff. And I think I can speak for you too, Shandy. We don't mean that.
No.
That stuff is great because that's reactions.
And it wasn't good. It was in moments that, I mean, I even texted you last night. I clapped. I think I was the only one that clapped at one moment. And I'll see if you can guess what moment I clapped at.
I think I know. Is it towards the end?
Know? Yeah.
It's when the boy breaks the stick?
Oh.
Before or after that?
After that.
Oh, when the kids are tearing. Okay.
Yeah. That one shot. Woo.
Yeah, that's the thing is like,
Yeah.
so Weapons is his second movie. He wrote it. Well, I mean, you heard the conversation earlier in this episode. He talked about it, but so I guess I guess that's why, since we have him in this episode talking about it, we can just kind of talk about our reactions because they already heard they heard it from the horse's mouth. They don't need us talking about, you know what I mean, like the whys and wherefores, but just kind of what it means to us, you know. But yeah, I mean, just flat out, I fucking loved Weapons. I thought it was really, really good. And yeah, like we said, there's visceral reactions. I had some in my audience. I went, oh, a few times. And I want to ask you, when you're watching a horror movie, whether it's at home or movie theater or whatever, do you laugh sometimes, like almost like as a fear reaction or to seeing something gross?
I don't do it as a fear reaction. I do it as an excitement response.
Okay, yeah.
Because of course, when she was taking the potato peeler to his face, everyone in the audience was going,
yeah.
And I was going,
That's okay. That's what I'm talking about. So you do the same thing, okay? Because I did that there. It's like I do one of these, like that.
Yeah, I was like, happy,
you know,
happy, joy, joy. Happy,
yeah.
Happy, joy, joy. Because I love that shit.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like a guy from Queens watching the Mets play. Oh, all right, come on, okay. You know, that kind of thing. Like, hey, there you go, kid. But yeah, it was not what I was expecting. When I saw Barbarian, I'd read the script. I knew all about it. I was very happy to see that the movie was pretty much the script verbatim. With this, I did at one point ask Zach to send me the script, and he didn't. I'm sure it wasn't on purpose. He probably just forgot to. And never have I been more glad that I'm friends with a bunch of idiot stoners who can't remember anything, just like myself. So, because I was like watching, I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I don't know dick about this movie, because I really didn't. All I knew was the kids run with their arms out. That's about it.
I mean, even the trailer that I saw, one trailer, it was not what I was expecting at all from that, which I was pleasantly surprised by that.
Mm-hmm. I didn't think it would be funny, because it's a very serious topic.
Yeah.
Like, all you know going in, really, is that it's about children disappearing. Well, that's awful. That's almost it's maybe even worse than your kid getting murdered than them just disappearing, because then you don't know what happened to them.
Yeah, and it was really scary is that their ring cam footage that some of the parents had of the kids leaving, but the police sergeant, when he says nobody forced them out of the house, they left on their own, but we have no idea where they went.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, and just the way they kind of mindlessly got up and ran, and the whole thing is very scary, and it's very serious. It's a serious topic, and so I was not expecting it to be funny, and there's plenty of seriousness in it, but there are funny moments, definitely intentional funny moments, and is what they are, and some good straight up horror moments as well. And the thing is this guy Zach, I tell you what, like, he is becoming I've always talked about the Korean jarring tonal shift, because Korean films, Old Boy is kind of the main one of those, but some of Bong Joon-ho's films and a lot, the tones are crazy, where it's like funny and now it's horrifying, and like an Old Boy, it's like, here's a funny part, here's a cool action part, okay, incest, like, holy shit. So, have you seen Old Boy?
Yeah, really, it's just every once in a while it'll pop in my head, and I'll go, God damn, that movie's fucked up.
Yeah. Oh, weird. Brolin was in the remake of that. He played Old Boy. That's right. Random. Isn't that how we always do it? But anyways, so I've always found Koreans, and a lot of Asian film in general, but especially Korea, is really good at like bouncing the tone around and still not having it derail anything. And Zach, I think, is getting very good at that. And I think, going back to the last episode, Get Out is good at that too. Funny and serious and da-da-da-da-da. But I feel like it's at a more fun level most of the time, whereas there's parts of Weapons that are really dark, really dire, because we're talking about children, and, that's always a little worse because they have their whole lives ahead of them,
Super dire. And then, man, but at the end, some of that shit was so funny, and the entire audience was laughing. So I appreciate when a film can get an entire room full of people to understand what they meant. Like, this is what my intention was, and we all fucking got it. It was great.
That's what going to the movies is supposed to be in an audience, right? Because it's like, you had your whole day. All these people had their whole day. I'm sure there's people in there that had a better day than you. There's people in there that had a worse day than you. And somehow, a good movie has something that just makes everybody be like, that's great, and have the same reaction,
And it reminds me kind of what's going on in the movie is I didn't know it was going to be from different points of view, which I thought was fucking great.
Yeah.
But everything that you do in your life and everywhere that you go, we're all connected, and everything that we do has consequences. It's like all of us being in that movie theater, we all ended up in the same place, but getting there, we went different paths, but we all ended up in the same place. So I appreciated that. Good writing, Zach.
And the consequence is Zach's got to get to buy a yacht. That's what the consequence is. Everybody selling out the theater. But yeah, I mean, as we speak, I'm pretty sure this thing is beating both Freakier Friday and some kids movie called Sketch or something like that. But it is, I mean, you don't think it's going to be a crowd pleaser, Weapons, and I think but it is. And Barbarian was the same way. He's developing this really cool thing where, a lot of the big popular horror movies, there's like an artier style of horror movies that, we've talked about how people try to call elevated horror or some shit, but it's like, they're just kind of more a little artier, trying to be a little more metaphorical kind of stuff. You got Hereditary and Midsummer. You got The Witch. Things like that. You know what I mean? Like the more like prestigious kind of horror movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Zach, it's like you sit down to one of his movies, and it kind of seems like that because it's like there will be dire consequences. There will be serious stuff being talked about, and it'll have like a very kind of foreboding sense to it. But then he's not afraid to go fucking real horror movie on it. And not saying those aren't real horror movies, but I mean just go full horror movie where it's like, okay, like in Barbarian, like now here's a monster, right? Or like in Weapons, like now here's zombie attacks or whatever you want to call that. But it's very, the watching the end of that movie, I was like, oh, this is why he'll be good at Resident Evil.
Yeah, and I think I even mentioned that to him when we were talking to him, that he's really great at building tension.
Yeah.
I think he's a master at that, because then when you have those moments that you're talking about where it becomes either full-on horror or all of a sudden it's this beautiful moment of comedy, it resonates that much more because he's already spent this time creating that tension.
Yeah.
He did that in this.
Yeah, and he does it from scene to scene, but also the entire movie is that, because the whole movie's kind of building up, and it does take a while before you see much violence or anything, but it is creepy the whole time. And there's even early on, there's people seeing weird stuff in their dreams and stuff that's scary. But you don't really see anybody die for a little while in it. But the whole movie's kind of building up, ratchet. And then when those kids come out of the basement, it's like a huge fucking release. And it even acts like that because they're just like breaking through stuff. And it's it's like you've heard, I'm sure, like guitar solos, especially in the 80s, are compared to male orgasms, right? Like Eddie Van Halen, like and so this was like that, build up, spurt, and you just come so hard that it breaks through walls and windows, and children are made out of cum. So it's a great metaphor. God,
circle of life.
How do we always do this? Anyways, but there's podcasts out there that are about sex that are probably much less hornier than this show.
Totally.
Like, I'm sure there's probably a podcast about cum that doesn't talk about cum as much as we do.
Nope.
Anyways,
but what I wanted to add to that is the sound. The sound was loud when it needed to be. Mm-hmm. And there was one moment where I thought my heart was racing. I was listening to my heartbeat, but it was the soundtrack.
Oh.
And I think it's the moment before the kids start flying through glass and shit. But when they're flying through, the sound, that it was so jarring, them pushing through. It's like you could feel this force, because I mean, a witch has completely has used power to overtake these children, or she's like using their force or their life force or whatever, and just like that tension and that forcefulness of going through everything, I just kept going, lady, you better fucking run.
So good.
These are some powerful fucking little kids. Holy shit.
And it's her fault. The reason they're like that because of her. And so in Barbarian, what do you think is the moment, like when the average Joe moviegoer talks about Barbarian, when people have a conversation about Barbarian, what do you think is the part they talk about the most? I'm thinking they probably talk about the whole interchange where you don't fucking know what's happening when Bill Skarsgård dies.
Oh yeah, when he gets his head
it cuts to Justin Long
smashed against the fucking wall. Yeah.
I would guess that's what stands out the most to people when they talk about Barbarian, right? And I think, and I love the whole movie, but that is moments like, holy shit, what am I watching? And I think with Weapons, the ending is what people are going to talk about.
Yeah, I mean,
because I didn't know that that's what I wanted to see, but it was.
It's either going to be that, or there was a lot of commotion and a lot of people in the audience going, "Oh no!" When Justine is sitting outside of Alex's house in a car and she's drinking and she is drunk, passed out, Alex's door opens and this crazy looking lady comes out with a knife. Well, you think it's a knife, but you find out they're scissors. I will remember that moment, seeing it in the theater because of kind of the gasps and oh no's that happened in the audience, because she just stood there and you're like, okay, she's looking through the window, and then she moved on, and everybody was like, okay, so she's safe. But then the shot stayed on Justine, but you hear her car door opening, and everyone, I just got chills thinking about it because it's so good. It's the moment you heard that, people in the audience went, or they went, oh no, no, no. And I even went, no, 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 no. Because then you just see her hand with the scissors come out. You're like, holy fuck, is she gonna fucking kill her? But then she just cuts her little piece of her little blonde ringlet off. And I went, oh, that's gonna get used in some sort of spell.
Yeah, that's even creepier.
So creepy.
And the whole audience, because I'm sure mine was the same way, but everybody's like, well, especially if you're there because you've seen Barbarian, it's like, well, I know this guy doesn't really give a shit if his main characters die before the movie really takes off. So, but that's what I almost feel like he probably did that on purpose a little bit. And I also love that there's a basement comes into play, because I feel like there's like a shot or two where he kind of played with what's going to be in this basement, you know.
Do you know what that house reminded me of?
Huh.
It reminded me of Freddy Krueger's house on Nightmare on Elm Street.
Alex's house and weapons reminds you of Nancy's house from Nightmare on Elm Street. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, totally. Yeah, I agree. And, you said you didn't know weapons was going to jump from character to character like that. And I had an idea that it would, because I had read somewhere. I knew very little about the movie, but I did know that Zack had said it was kind of like Magnolia. And I haven't even seen Magnolia, but I know that it cuts to different people's stories, you know.
I didn't think about that, but it was just refreshing because I wasn't expecting it at all.
Yeah.
But I will say there was a moment before, I mean, there were the chapter breaks where it just had the character name. And when I first saw it said Justine, I went, okay, so we're going to do different viewpoints, or what's going to happen? Because there was a tiny bit of a lull for me in the beginning where I went, where's this going? But that's how he makes you question, like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Where is this even going?
Yeah. And Barbarian was like his practice of that. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, here, I'm just going to really, really go for it and focus on just that idea. Because that's like what the first third of Barbarian is. It's like, where the fuck is this going? You know?
Is this, did I tell him it gets a rom-com?
Yeah. We talked about it being a, and we told him that was a compliment, you know?
It is.
Yeah. But here he's like distilled that idea down where it's like he's using it more and more. But yeah, I was like, well, where is this going? And then like the lady cuts her hair off when she's asleep, and then it cuts to the next guy's story. I'm like, whoa, okay. And I like how with each story there's a little bit of time overlap. You know, they're like, oh, you already saw this happen from this character's point of view, but here's the same thing happening from this character's point of view. That happens a few times, right? But then with each story, it goes a little bit further into the narrative.
Yeah,
you know,
was great.
So cool. And then by the end, it's like just the whole ending. It's I'm just very, very, like when he made Barbarian, I was like, man, that's so fucking cool. You did that. Good job. But now I'm like fucking impressed. Like, oh, this guy's like becoming a fucking voice. This guy's like, Zach's like becoming like one of those dudes that can make his own ideas and not have to direct a goddamn superhero movie every year, you know? Jordan Peele can do that. Tarantino, Scorsese, you know, like people like that are the people who get to do this. So it's really cool that he's, coming up that way. And I just thought it was masterfully done and structured. And I don't normally like all the time jumpy ideas. I like it when a movie just here's the movie, but it worked. You know what I mean? And it wouldn't. And like I said, it doesn't really jump around time that much. It's generally moving forward. You know, just kind of zigzagging a little bit, I thought.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great, and you know, as it goes on, you know, it gets more horror movie-ish, which is, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, the bashing, using your own head to bash in the skull of another human's head.
Yeah.
And it just kept happening.
Yeah.
It just, I said, when is? Oh God. Oh.
Yeah, it's not over yet. Okay.
This,
yeah, it goes on and on and on.
You know what I wasn't expecting?
What was that?
So everyone thinks that Justine, the teacher, is the witch, right? Everybody
Right.
thinks
Like she's
that's
responsible for these
she.
children disappearing. Yeah.
Yeah, like why is she still here?
As you heard in the interview with him earlier, he was telling me that he thinks I'll see a lot of him in it because anybody that knows him would see that, and I definitely did see that. And I'm not going to speak for what he put here or there or what it means because I'm sure it had a meaning to him. But what I found was that it deals with alcoholism, which I mean he's been very open about the fact that he is an alcoholic and sober now and stuff. So it's definitely that with a couple characters. Dealing with grief because he kind of really got into writing the script after Trevor died, and also just kind of like, I saw in it I kind of saw Zack addressing different Zacks from his past, and I kind of thought that like the 4 adult characters you meet first were kind of each sort of like Zacks from different moments in time is kind of how I saw it.
Oh.
Because he's had a lot of the problems these people have, but he's also been like the skinny little weirdo junkie Brit. Like he used to be a little punk little asshole like that too. You know what I mean? So like, that's kind of what I saw. And again, I can't speak for what he meant, but I definitely saw that, and just knowing it was personal. And even if he hadn't said that, I could have seen that kind of stuff knowing him. You know what I mean? And just some of the things that were going on, you'll see a lot in the news right now, are just like different reviews of people saying this is an allegory for school shootings, and I can see that.
One minute they're there, and the next minute they're not.
Yep, and just dealing with that, and also like blaming the wrong things.
Yep.
People are blaming it. But like I said, in this day where there's a lot of these like horror movies that are take themselves very seriously. And have a lot of like metaphor and artistic kind of intentions, and sometimes are a little more subtle with the horror elements, where Zack will do that, but then it gets unsubtle at the parts you want it to be unsubtle. So like you said, when Benedict Wong starts beating his husband to death with his own face, it's like, oh, here's a horror movie. Holy shit, And up to that point, I knew Benedict Wong was in it, right? But I'm watching like, Benedict Wong is really cool. I wonder why he wanted to do this principal part. And then that happens. I'm like, oh, okay. He probably read the script. He's like, oh, that's okay.
That must have been so fun.
Right? And he was probably reading the script like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. Okay, this guy is a nice guy. Oh, shit. Yeah, I want to do this.
Man, when they all got possessed, they looked great. Their eyes were all bloodshot and red around, and they just looked fucking nuts.
Yeah, really gross and weird. And again, just like with Barbarian, he doesn't totally explain it, but I felt they explained enough. How'd you feel?
I think so.
Yeah.
I could feel they were possessed. I mean, you could feel the power and kind of the force flowing through them. Like they just became these like fucking linebackers, like zombie linebackers that just wouldn't quit.
Totally. Yeah. And there's subtle things where it's like the lady's dying of some disease, and she's like bald when she shows up, and then she's possessed the parents. And there is some element of using their life force. They never come out and say it, but she kind of hints that she needs more than just the parents. That's why they ultimately take all the children. But so when she comes in and she starts, and first she's some bald lady who's dying of cancer or something. And then when she first possesses the parents, the next time you see her, she's got some hair, and she's braided some of the hair, right? Like she's bald with a couple braids sticking out, which is weird. Yeah. And then later on, after she's had all the kids in the basement, towards the end, when she jumps out at Josh Brolin towards the end, she's got hair. Like, not a ton, but she has like more hair. Did you notice that? And
I noticed that, and I noticed her teeth. Her teeth look gnarly, and I appreciated that.
Right, but did her teeth get better? What I'm talking about is how you can tell that it changed her because she was
that like it was helping her. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow. So there was, he has some very subtle hints. Obviously, watching it again, the main character having witch drawn on her car when she's not one, but there is one, is a pretty good hint. But the first time through, I caught something. I'm like, okay, I think that's going to have to do with it, because why would he show that? But so right before, in that scene, the crazy head bashing scene, well, when that scene starts, it's Benedict Wong and his husband sitting down for a dinner. And I'm going to have to talk to Zack about what they eat for dinner, because I feel like it was intentional. You know what I mean? Like a little reference, because I think there's even 7 hot dogs. I have to think that was a little nod. Not that anybody would ever care, you know what I mean? But just doing it for fun because he thinks it'd be funny. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just very jazzed about it. I'm going to take my daughter. She has emetophobia, fear of vomit. So there's definitely one point. It's the scene we are talking about where I'm going to have to cover eyes and ears.
Yeah.
And there's a little tiny bit later on, but that's about it. But she'll love the rest of it. Like, the thing is people, you know, and there are parts of this movie that do take itself seriously, but then it's like a fun horror movie too. Like, kids will like to watch this.
I think so.
Maybe they'll have trouble sitting through the first part, but man, you know, once things start kicking in, kids will love it, I think.
Yeah, because poor fucking Alex, man. But he was still strong enough at the end that he paid enough attention to what this fucking lady was doing that he knew exactly what to do. And once I saw her little black tree, I just kept thinking, destroy that fucking thing. Set it on fire. That must be the source of her power. Or like, that just helps her enable her power.
It's where she gets the magical sticks from.
Yeah.
With the thorns on it. Maybe it's an old rose bush or something. Who knows? And here we are talking about it instead of us both knowing for sure because he told us. You know what I mean? That's what I like. Like, I didn't need a whole explanation. No. Nobody does. And that's why when the first thing you texted me when you saw it was like, what does a triangle mean? I was going to type back in all caps, who cares? It just like with Barbarian. He just gives you enough so that you can leave and be like, okay, you don't leave confused.
No.
That's all you need. But then he leaves you enough to be like, to chew on, you know, to talk about what the triangle might be or what this might be. And I think, you know, and obviously the answer to all that is a very vague, well, it ties into her witchcraft, whatever her religion thing is. Yeah. But whatever her deal is, you know, it all ties into that, right?
Yeah. They show that one kid bullying him. And the kids bullying him and shit. And in my head, I started thinking, is he going to go back and ask his aunt to do something to the children because they're all fucking assholes to him?
I was worried about that too.
But it didn't happen. So I was like, okay, cool. That made me very happy.
Yeah. And you know that bully kid was Josh Brolin's son.
Yeah.
Josh Brolin's character's son. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because he's kind of bullying people in the first part of the movie.
Yep.
You know, he's driving around in his pickup truck, and I'll tell you, living in a pickup truck heavy area of the world, that tracks. The property, the business owner who's a contractor driving a big giant truck around, being kind of a dick to people. Yeah, there's a lot of that here. I know one of them who's super chill and awesome. What's up, Frank? There's no way you're hearing this, but whatever. But a lot of them are like, you know, yes, like that, you know, and they got their tight button, their jeans. Their jeans doesn't look good as Josh Brolin's does, but, you know, they got that same kind of energy happening. And that junkie character, the actor was fantastic. I mean, he was awesome.
Oh, good.
And he was funny, but also like, I mean, because here's the thing, Shandy. I mean, Zack wrote that. I'm sure Zack wrote that part about people he knew. Maybe even, like I said, perhaps even referencing himself from when he was in his 20s or something. I don't know. But you live in New York. I lived in there for a long time. Those guys are all over the place there. You know, possibly homeless, like kids, like teens or early 20s kind of people maybe, and they have drug problems and they're like sketchy, and it sucks because they're probably not naturally sketchy people, but because of their situation, it's kind of turned them into these sketchy, hard to trust people.
Yeah, just looking for your next fucking fix. How are you gonna get it? That's all you care about.
Yeah, exactly. There are tons of people like that in New York, especially in the hipster neighborhoods, you know, like when we hung out in Williamsburg or whatever all the time. Those people were everywhere and are always just constantly scheming. And but anyways, but Brolin's awesome in this too. And I like that he is just kind of playing just a guy, but I like the angle, and it's especially with Brolin's character and Justine. They both in their stories are kind of like doing detective shit, which I really liked.
Mm-hmm.
And then you know who's not doing detective stuff is the cop.
The person that should be doing what his fucking job. I love how Justine fucking...
Right. Although he does say, I'm not a detective. It's like, okay, but you should be solving a crime. You know.
Yeah, or she's like, so how's work? And he goes, whatever. And she points out like, well, there's 17 children missing, so I hope that's not the general attitude over at the fucking police station.
Yeah. you know? And of course she's going to be mad about that because that is directly ruining her life.
Yep.
Not only did she seem to be a good teacher and actually loved these children and felt connected to them, so she was clearly sad when it happened, but then they all blame it on her. Like, fuck, that sucks, you know? So yeah, you know, so far in both of his movies, Zack has portrayed the cops as like not necessarily like outwardly evil, but just kind of not interested in truly helping people.
Well, and then just automatically assuming that you have fucking AIDS because his fucking needle pricked you.
Yeah.
You have AIDS?
Yeah, and that's how they treat her in Barbarian too. When she goes up to them, they think she's some crackhead.
Ugh.
So, and you know, but that's not. I mean, to me, that's probably the most realistic depiction.
Mm-hmm.
They're not like evil. They're not all these evil fuckers where you're like, but there's a general kind of idea, I think, within police forces where it's like, well, yeah, this is not a big deal. They're just, people are overreacting, that kind of shit. Like, it's not my problem. You know, and I know some very good dudes here who are cops and help. One of them helps organize a lot of stuff to help battered women and stuff like that, which is great, you know. But I think in general, that's kind of what it is. And so I like that the characters who are doing detective work in this are just like some carpenter and a teacher, you know? I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Who do you think was your favorite character?
I mean, I love the witch lady.
Gladys.
I love her outfit.
Yeah.
Her outfits were amazing, and her just being completely ridiculous. Like being the crazy looking, flamboyantly dressed ant lady with like the crazy red lipstick, like with the cracked lips and the, like really overly done like blush and eyeshadow. I loved her.
So you're looking at the aunt like that. Does that give you a view of the future for you?
I mean, I can only hope for that.
Well, crazy eccentric aunt who dresses with crazy clothes. You are not, and you're eccentric.
Yeah.
You know, I'm fairly sure you're not a witch, but I don't really know. So
not yet. I may not be old enough to be a witch.
I'm gonna tell my daughter if I start acting weird and like running around, call Shandy and tell her to put the twig back. That's probably what it is. You're twignetizing me.
I mean, I really liked how she was just so kind of sweet and bubbly and eccentric, and then her fucking tone would change.
Yeah, and her face. You know, her facial expressions like got serious. I really like that. I like Junkie. I think that Alex Kidd was an interesting character. He didn't really say much because he's just like, you just feel bad for him because he just kind of railroaded into this horrible situation, and that happens to kids. You know, they get pushed into, and I mean, this is probably coming from a personal spot from Zach too, but like, you know, kids get pushed into just being okay with awful situations at home.
Like, I have to do what the adults say, because where are they going to go?
Yeah, I don't have a choice. And I see that too often in all sorts of different parts of my life, and it's like, okay, but you know, it just sucks because like, yes, the kids, you know, you tell somebody, you do something, like there's ways, but it sucks, you know. And it's people taking advantage of the innocence of children and the fact that children look up to adults, and they're taking advantage of that, you know. That's what pedophiles do, you know, but abusers do it too, is taking advantage of kids being more sweet and innocent. And okay, well, I guess I just gotta do this, you know. But so I like that, like what Alex ends up doing kind of says, well, kids do have much more going on than you think, and they are smarter than you think, and he was just waiting for his moment to fuck you up, you know? Right?
Yeah. And man, just like thinking more about this movie today. So let me preface this. In the beginning of the movie, there's a kid narrating about this true story that happened, and that, you know, there's these kids that just all left their house at the same time and disappeared. Nobody knew where they went, and they closed down the school for a month. There were no leads, nothing came of it, couldn't find the kids. So they just kind of had to go, they had to reopen the school and kind of go back to some sense of normalcy. And when you mentioned like the school shootings and everything, like how that is kind of just like such a fucking normal thing. That's just an everyday thing. Like kids have to go to school now with that in the back of their mind that like they might fucking die.
Yeah. They get taught, I mean, you know, because I have a kid, they get taught like they have to do drills for that kind of stuff now. We did tornado drills.
Yeah, we did like fire alarm drills.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's it.
Yeah. But it's a different ballgame now,
There's a great moment when Justine and the cop are at the bar and he's telling her, like, why are you having a fucking pity party? Like, you're not a parent.
Yeah.
Like, not everybody is fucking thinking about you right now.
And the interesting thing about him saying that to her, though, and then her response is like, well, I think they are. Because, yes, there's no way to picture what's in their head. And it's easy to say, like, oh, man, there's no way they're all just thinking of you. But she just came from a meeting where the whole town was like, we think it's you!
Yeah.
So it's hard to do that,
Yeah.
It's hard to... but they're even acting like that because of their horrible grief from whatever, them dealing with this stuff, right? But still, so it's an interesting thought because it's like, well, yeah, but also they... Like, how do you expect her to react when she's being told she is the problem,
Yeah,
like,
which is literally painted on the side of her car.
When people try and see meanings in films and stuff, they want it to be simple. But it's like, well, but life's not simple. And someone who's good at making a movie, which I think Zack has clearly established that he's good at making movies, it's going to be more complicated than that. And I think that scene's a good reason. It's like, yeah, I mean, the cop has a point. It's like, well, you're not these parents at least. But, like, he's ignoring her situation, how she sees things. And also that the town fucking hates her all of a sudden. And, he's ignoring all those facts just so he can wag his finger at her and tell her not to drink, basically. What'd you think of the score?
Fuck, it was good. It was really good.
Yeah. Did you know who did it?
Who did it?
Zach.
Really?
Yeah, and two of his friends from a long time ago. He knew them longer than he's known us. I think it was basically like friends from being a kid, from childhood. But Ryan and Hayes Holiday, great musicians. The three of them were in a couple bands together and stuff too, a long time ago. But Ryan and Hayes, and I think they've been involved in some bands that like you might have even heard of. I forget, but anyways, they've known each other for a long time, and they did the music together. And knowing that going in, I'm like, okay, I can kind of see how it's them. But I love the score, and the score was not like sometimes there's a score that's like supposed to be a cool score, and it's kind of staying in one lane so it can keep sounding cool. And in this, I don't think they were doing that because I feel like they really, when they were making the music, it really feels like they were paying attention to what the scene demanded musically. Because there's times when it's like weird techno stuff. There's times when it's just kind of weird sounds. There's times when there's more traditional kind of string sound to it. And I found it always just fit what was happening instead of like, somebody like Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead scoring a movie where when you hear his parts, like, oh, there's Johnny Greenwood scoring this movie. I was like, that's what I want to hear. I want to have the music enhance what's going on. You know what I mean? And I think they did a good job of that.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned earlier that at one moment I thought I was hearing my own heart beating, but it was the fucking score.
So it was the score, not sound effects. Okay.
Yeah,
wow.
it was.
I think you cut out when you said that. I don't remember you saying that. So that's cool.
It was awesome.
Oh, and they did Ryan and Hayes did a couple songs on Barbarian too. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, I just thought that was cool. And another great thing about what Zach's doing so far with his career is it's like he's successful, and he's got Hollywood stars in this and everything, and that's great. And now he's making a franchise movie, whatever. But he's going to return to making his own stuff, is what he made it sound like, at least. But so he's got all this success and all this crazy stuff, but he's still like, it's got a very indie feel to it, and not necessarily in the movie itself, but in the way he's making it.
Seems very humble.
He wrote it.
And we were talking to him.
Well, he's a super humble guy, not a dickhead at all. But he's also like, the way he's doing the movie is like very DIY. And I mean, look, Whitest Kids is the same way, so I'm not surprised. I feel like, and Trevor was even the same way when he was making shows for Disney, is that, we like to be involved with the stuff we're making, So it makes sense, but I just think it's so cool that he's getting to this level where it's still like, here's this big movie that even came to fucking Watertown, South Dakota, and that only gets big movies, and here's this big thing, and with Hollywood movie stars and all this stuff, and still he scored it with his friends. Like, that's fucking awesome.
That is fucking awesome.
And now these friends are, in some circles, well-known musicians. They've been working in music for a long, long time. They're very good. So I'm sure it wasn't hard to convince to anybody, hey, can I use these guys? But still, it's cool that that's where he went. It's like, hey, I'm going to keep this, keep it fucking in the family,
Yeah.
it just feels very it all feels very organic and yeah, and just kind of grassroots and DIY. And I hope he doesn't lose that, because I think that's great. And then but then you use Hollywood's resources to do crazy shit like the ending of this movie. Like if there's an indie film, it wouldn't be as cool as it is. Like all the you got 17 kids chasing this woman through multiple homes, just smashing through the fucking place. You have to have good special effects for that. So it's great that he has this indie feel, but knows when to use the Hollywood machine.
And I love that happens so many times in movies where action is happening through someone's home while they're just sitting there having dinner.
Yeah.
And then someone's being chased through their home and they're just sitting there
yeah. A lot of times it's a muddy dog.
Yeah.
In a lot of movies. It's a big muddy dog. Or Neo from The Matrix.
And the lady's like, there's a man in the house.
Yeah.
When Brolin
but this
comes
was
through.
oh yeah, then that's right, when Brolin chases after them, the people get freaked out again. That's right. The woman runs through the house, then a mob of insane zombie children, or whatever you want to call them, and then Brolin, who's just trying to get his fucking kid back at this point. He's not a dick anymore. He helped the people, he's a good guy now. Okay. He's just trying to get his kid, and he walks through this house, and oh my God, now there's a man here.
The really great shot of the man with the lawnmower, and then it's just quiet, and you turn. It's just the shot of the little lady going between the houses.
Yeah.
Then to the guy, and then the kids. It was so fucking funny.
And as someone who every 2 weeks is a dude mowing his lawn, looking at stuff, I think it's realistic, right? The person runs by, and you just you're still mowing. You don't know really what it's what is this? You know what I mean? It's
I went, oh no, what's going to happen with the lawnmower? That's where my brain goes.
Yeah, no, my brain went there too. My brain went there too. My brain went there too. So we're broken in the same way, whatever. But we've talked about this with horror movies before, but it's taking normal life stuff and putting a little spin on it, being like, oh God, which this did. But what's interesting, it didn't take a mundane part of real life. It took a horrible part of real life, the loss of children and abductions and that kind of stuff, and spin it. And it's like, whoa, What I just still can't believe that he made part of this movie funny. And I know Zach's got big balls, right? But I've probably seen him by accident at some point in our lives. But anyways, it takes some big balls to be like, hey, I'm going to make a story about one of the worst things that people can think about. And I'm going to have jokes in it. That's fucking awesome.
I wasn't expecting it either. I was not expecting the last 20 minutes to be super, super loud, violent stuff happening. Yeah. And then it just be fucking slapstick funny. It was so good. It was a good balance.
Yeah. It's talent, and it's really knowing what you want to do and doing it, and it's having a really good control of tone, and the whole Jordan Peele does that too. But I do think I think Zach's movies mesh this stuff together even better, where it's it all feels natural, because you know what? How many times are you dealing with something horrible, but then one little part of the situation makes you be like, wow, that's funny. You know what I mean? All the time.
This is so fucking awful. All I can do is laugh to even just get through it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, that's the whole idea of the Joker, So that idea is out there, is all I mean by that.
Are we going to talk about Batman again?
Well, it's going to... Dude, you talk to people with penises, they're going to talk about Batman. That's just the law of the land. There's an armed guard outside the door of my office, and when I leave after recording this, if I say we didn't talk about Batman, he cuts my dick off. It's crazy, but that's the world we live in now. What the fuck am I talking about? But no, I just mean that well, you know what I'm getting at, but just the humor is always a part of everything. And that it does come up in those most horrible times of your life. I mean, when my grandmother died, my mom's mom, she was 95. It was fine. You know what I mean? Yeah, she had a good run. No one's super sad about it. However, you're at a funeral, and I did the homily, the, what do you call it? The eulogy. And
I thought you were going to say the homina.
Homina. Man, she was hot, right, guys? Woo! Have my heart beat out of my chest, my eyes bug out like that wolf cartoon, when it sees a pretty lady or whatever. But no, but so I did her eulogy, and I basically did jokes, And I was
Aw.
basically retelling her funny jokes.
Oh, can we hear one?
Yeah, my favorite one was, and I might have told this before for some other reason, but so when she and my grandpa had their 40th wedding anniversary, it was like the early or mid 90s. My brother and I were the only people from our family that got to go down to Omaha for this big thing, but at least a few people from every family in our family, was there. So they had a ton of their kids, grandkids there, maybe even some great grandkids, right? And so we had a couple days of like having fun, going to the big zoo in Omaha, doing all this different stuff. And the last night we were there, we had a big, nice dinner at like this Italian place, and we had the whole back room, you rent it for events, so it's just us back there. One of my aunts or uncles is giving a speech, being like, and thank you so much. I'm so glad that everybody made it down here. And my grandma goes, that was fun. And then the uncle goes, and thank you for having us. And my grandma goes, that was fun too. Meaning when she got fucked 8 times, because she has 8 children. So that's an amazing joke. I fumbled to tell him, but basically the idea is someone's like, thanks. Oh yeah, this was fun. Yeah, thanks for having us, Mom. That was fun too. And it like killed
It's so
everybody.
subtle. It's great.
Yeah. But and then she smiled afterwards. It's like, oh, Grandma's talking about sex. That's gross, but it's really funny. So, and my family's never had that thing where it's like, ew, let's not think about the fact that our parents had sex to make us. It's like, well, we all know they did because there's a lot of us. And one time I found condoms in the drawer in Dad's nightstand. So, sorry.
Well, you told that story about making them Jack and Cokes, and your dad was like, "You gonna have some Shreks?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that Gladys dying didn't necessarily break everyone out of the spell that she had over them. That it just continued to like have power over them and like affect them, because like I guess
it ended her control.
Yeah, but it's still, they're like,
I think is all it did.
The parents were like in a hospital or something, or had to be taken care
Yeah.
of. Like everyone is still fucked up.
Yeah, they made it sound like the parents were in an insane asylum, is what she made it
Almost
sound.
like she gave him a fucking lobotomy.
Yeah, totally.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's not necessarily a happy ending, but at least but you know what I like is there's horror movies out there where like at the end of it everybody's dead, or the good guys don't win at all. And I don't know, there's something about a horror movie where at least some of the people come through it and get through it that is maybe a little more satisfying to me. And I was thinking about this because of this movie and Barbarian and Jordan Peele's 2 films. And I was thinking, oh, you know what? Well, one of my favorite movies of all time, you know what I'm going to say, because it ends with the person getting away, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And now think about this, though, okay? What is scarier for the last shot of that movie? Think about this, okay? Is it scarier to have Sally laying down on the ground chopped up by a chainsaw, or to have Sally covered in blood laughing hysterically in a truck as it rolls away? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Totally scarier to have that happen than just have her die.
Yeah.
And I think that's what these guys understand. I mean, that's basically what the ending of Zack's movie says, is like, yeah, this is awful. It's still awful. You know? Speaking of awful, we should probably end this episode.
Yeah, I think so.
I think the main thing to say about this movie at this point, 2 days after it came out, is that it's really awesome. Mm-hmm. It's fun to watch, but it also gives you a lot to chew on. Like, I really want to watch it again, like, really, really badly.
I do too. I mean, I just have been thinking about it all day. Like, man, it was fucking fantastic. It's not often that I watch a movie these days and I go, I'm excited to see that again, like, soon.
Yeah. It's like, I see all the Marvel movies with my daughter. It has been a long time since I saw one of those, been like, oh, I want to watch that again.
Mm-hmm.
But this, yeah. I want to watch it again, like, right now. So I gotta get the fuck out of here. Bye, Shandy.
Because also, did I miss anything while my eye kept peering towards the douchebag on the fucking cell phone? Did I miss something?
Right.
Probably.
Yeah, did I miss anything when I was gushing blood out of my elbow for some reason?
I can't believe you were bleeding during
Dude, a lot. That's the most I've bled in a while. Yo, how come an elbow bleeds that much? That's what I want to know.
Well, did you have scabs? Because, like, when you scrape things...
Here's another gross body horror story that does not involve me, though. Well, I was there. But involving fungus. So in 2012, right around this time of year, mid-August, I was on tour with some folk bands. I was doing stand-up in between the folk acts, and it sounded. I think the end product was just as confusing as that sounded just now. And I at one point we went to Nashville. The main band I was touring with. Those guys are good musicians who have done a lot of stuff. They would do session stuff with Counting Crows and some other cool stuff like that. So they knew some pretty high up there, cool, working musicians. And so they had a friend whose house we went to in Nashville to talk to him. He was a guy. He's a guitarist, and he played with Katie Lang, and some other people like that, which is pretty cool. And but he was telling us how the last Katie Lang tour he was supposed to go on to, he had to take it off and be replaced because he was getting these really, really, really nasty headaches. And it started affecting his eyesight and all this stuff. And when you get those symptoms, what's the main thing people are going to be afraid of? Brain tumor.
Oh, yeah.
Brain cancer.
Yeah.
And so he's like, oh, shit. So they got all the MRIs and all the stuff, and he had a fucking mushroom growing in the front of his brain. Like, they think the spore somehow got up his nose and up into there, or who knows. But he had a fucking mushroom, like, in his head.
Is there a picture of that somewhere?
I don't know. And the next question would be, do I want to see it? I don't know.
I would definitely want to see that
Maybe.
MRI. That'd be interesting.
The MRI would be fun. I don't want to see the mushroom.
Whoa, that's got to be... I'd be like, I wonder if he kept it. Did they take it out?
Well, yeah, I'm sure. Or maybe they disintegrated it with laser surgery or something. I don't know. But, like...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he was fine when we talked to him, right? So he had it addressed. It would be very strange if he told us this whole story. He's like, yeah, turned out the reason I was having all these health problems and headaches and blindness was this mushroom in my head. Oh, okay, so did you take it out? No. That'd be a really weird end to that story. But anyways, since we didn't take notes, I don't know if there's anything else I want to say about the movie. I'll just call you later.
Well, I'll be thinking about it for a couple days till I see it again.
I know. I'm kind of like this idea that we are still kind of blindsided and digesting it and having to talk about it.
Yeah. I'm still thinking about it.
Oh, yeah, I will be. And I want to say, for people listening, this is the first time I haven't had to edit out any chewing or food sounds. Because we tried really hard.
I took Timmy's notes. I hopefully fixed my audio things, even though it still cut out a little bit.
I never heard you drop.
Well, I'm excited for you to hear it when I send it to you and let me know, because then if we need to tinkle it a little bit. We're almost a year in and we're still tinkling.
Did you say tinkle?
Tinkle.
Tinkling?
Tinkling.
You mean tinkering.
Tinkling.
Tinkle means peeing. You mean tinkering.
No, we're peeing all over everything. You know what it makes me think of is like when your toilet isn't flushing and you have to like tinkle with the thingy, with the handle. That's what I do.
You tinker, not tinkle.
I don't tinker with it. I tinkle with the tinkler. It's a tinkler.
Okay, but what's the tinkle? What's the tinkler?
I'm tinkling with the where you go tinkle. So I call it a tinkler.
All right, you want to say the social media stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Why are you doing that?
Because you said, oh, yeah, and I'm fucking ridiculous. And so that made me go, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. God.
Timmy the tinkler.
Could I watch you tinkle? Oh, yeah. Okay, let's
social media.
Social media.
Thanks for listening to Earn Full of Popcorn. Please follow, like, and share. We are on Instagram at Earn Full of Popcorn. That's URNFULLA Popcorn. You can listen to our podcast on our website, earnfullofpopcorn.com. We're also on YouTube at Earn Full of Popcorn Podcast. We're on Spotify and Apple. Please follow. You don't have to comment. You can send a message. I'll respond.
Or don't.
Or don't.
Don't comment. Don't.
We don't care either way.
Listen, Earn Full of Popcorn's a one-way street, baby. We talk to you. You shut the fuck up.
You do what we tell you.
Now you know why Shandy's more the Shandy's more the public face of this podcast. Well, she has a better face than me anyways, but you're also nice. So that's why you do that.
fucking follow, motherfuckers.
Yeah, see?
Or I'll fucking tinkle on your fucking face.
Well, some people are now more interested. So,
That's why I said it.
I know, but I'm saying some people are like, they're not going to take that as a threat. They're like, oh, do you promise? Then I'm going to comment all day. Well, thank you to Jordan Cooper, who wrote and did our... let's start that over. What the fuck? Thank you to Jordan Cooper for making our theme song. Thank you to Steve Ward, who is Canadian. Lucky him. But also thank you to Zack Cregger for doing this. I mean, he's a super down-to-earth guy. Obviously, I've known him for a long time, and we're good friends. And he's, when you're a young hothead, and you're making stuff, we kind of bump heads more often than not. But as we both become older, I've just come to really appreciate what a solid individual Zack is. And, I mean, I've always loved him. We've always been friends. But, we got past the point in our lives where you feel like you need to, ever kind of needle somebody anymore. We don't really push each other's buttons the way we used to, And so, and that was, I have no problem that we did that because it was fun. But Zack is just such a great dude and very humble and down to earth. And to see this kind of shit happen to him is fun. It's awesome. Because you don't always see people who, you know what? You don't always see people get what they deserve. Like the president deserves to get by a, right? We're probably not going to see that happen. But Zack deserves to have a huge, awesome horror movie career, and that does seem to be happening. So good for him.
I mean, that's how I kind of felt about all of you guys when you got your show. Was like, I felt like, yeah, these guys fucking deserve this shit. They're fucking hilarious. And I think it's just because you guys all of you have always been so humble with everything. You just kind of are just like, yay, we get to do this. You're not like, we deserve this. It's like, no, we get to do this because we enjoy doing this. This is awesome.
I always tell people, you think of our kind of class of comedians from New York from our generation, right? And there's some awesome success stories, several. You got Aziz Ansari, Chelsea Peretti, Donald Glover, Kumail. And there's a lot of people, and all those people I just mentioned, for example, have had greater success than us until Zack's directing career. So for years it was like, oh, these guys all got way more famous than us. Some of them got nominated for Oscars and stuff. Holy shit, right? But what pretty much none of those people can say is that they got to make whatever they wanted for 5 years. And we got away, I mean, I just watched the show again front to back. We got away with some shit. Would you say so? I mean,
yeah.
And to see Zack carry that humble enthusiasm for, it's almost like the joy of feeling like you tricked someone into giving you money to make something stupid. And in season 1 with our stupid submarine sandwich sketch, we're standing on a fucking submarine set in sailor costumes and be like, I can't believe someone is paying us to do this and paid someone to make it. It's like, yeah, don't say it out loud. You might jinx it. They might figure it out that we're fucking idiots and close it down.
And you get to be with your friends, too.
Yeah, with your buddies, So it's like, so a lot of people, even if they get to success and get to do their own thing, a lot of people can't claim I have about 25 hours of material that were just me and my friends doing whatever we wanted to, and we rarely were told no.
Yep.
We're lucky. But anyways, it's great to see Zack have turned that into this thing where hopefully he continues to not have to hear no very much. So,
if he ever has time again, just to talk about any horror movie he really, really likes that we haven't seen, and talk about it.
Let's find one that he hates and have him on. Anyways, that's the episode. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. I hope you saw Weapons and enjoyed it. And I hope that if you didn't, you don't tell me about it.
Because we won't care anyways.
Yeah, exactly.